for some hostile therapy.
Okay, I'm trying to pop myself up. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, welcome to Hostile Therapy Thursday. Let's see, we got okay. There's LT. What's up, man?
You? I should on.
I hear you.
Now plugged in.
I hear you. I just hear everything else. So, welcome to Hostile Therapy with Thursday, guys. Big Red, LT. That's somebody that's gonna pop up in just a little bit.
Yeah.
He just his mic set up. First thing we're going to end up talking about is that Alabama Brawl.
We in this thing.
Yeah, wish you were here last week. We would have talked about the Alabama Brawl a little bit earlier, but we're going to talk about it this week,
We
along
gonna
with
get to
a
it.
slew of other subjects. Got TV on in the background, man?
Yep, I just introduced, or not just introduced, but I'm having my girlfriend watch all of South Park.
All of South Park. So
All of
that's
South
like,
Park.
what, 30 years of TV?
25. 25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
We're on season 5 right now.
okay. We might have to turn that down just a little bit.
I got you.
Background.
Boom. All right, we in this thing.
All right. Cool. How's your week been, man?
Let's see. Ciphering through the chat, ciphering through everything that just gets dropped on my news feed. Um, what can I say? It's another week in ridiculousness. That shout out to Rob Dyrdek. But you know what? No, because I hate him.
Yeah, because what was that show he had before he did the ridiculous show?
Robin Big.
Black guy. Yeah. And he ended up passing
R.I.P.
away
Big.
some years ago. Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck Rob Dyrdek does. I don't know why he's important. I don't know why MTV really wants to jam 17 hours of ridiculousness down my fucking throat. But yeah, that's where the culture is. Happy birthday, Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey wanted to get everybody over there to Africa. Never quite saw it happen. He didn't even get to go to Africa himself.
He made it to Liberia and shit. He saw the planes.
That's what I've always heard. He didn't make it there. Okay.
No, he got he saw he didn't get to become a president of Africa, sadly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of president of the African version of America. Now you remember you saw it in the chat earlier.
Mm,
Man, when we did a show, and one of the subject matters was Tyler Perry buying BET.
that Marcus.
And then now apparently he never had BET. The deal fell through because he offered $2 billion, and they said that was lowballing it. At least I think wanted $3 billion from it.
That's lowballing it.
Yeah, $2 billion is
Literally,
lowballing.
black people have the only thing that black people have that is worth that we have made that has made $1 billion is Black Panther, the first one. I
Yeah,
don't even think Thriller has sold a Thriller has hit that yet.
no, I don't know. I know they sold 36 million albums. I don't know, do the math on that, but
150 mil, I think, because it's Diamond.
well,
It's like,
we're just talking about stateside. But
oh, okay, yeah, domestically, yeah, probably like 36 mil.
yeah.
But yeah, so with Tyler Perry and I knew this wasn't gonna happen. I can't say I knew for a 100% of a Fendi fact that it wasn't gonna fucking happen, but the fact that this man had to bid The fact that this motherfucker who has literally put like 27 shows on BET,
That's not an exaggeration.
like he is, it's literally Tyler Perry's BET already. So the fact that he had to place a bid was already, I'm looking at it like this is a little iffy, but it's kind of super fucked up that he now can't even own a network that he is pretty much keeping alive at this point. Like, what do people tune into BET to watch? I mean, I don't tune into BET to watch anything. So
Ratchetness.
they have that now. I don't even use actual cable, so I have a Spectrum package, but I prefer just watching shit on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what they got now. It's ratchetness. That's mainly what they got. Is ratchetness. Ratchetness and Tyler Perry shows. And
I don't see how two are interchangeable, but yeah, if they're not doing a fucking a baby boy marathon or it's Christmas, so let's play Friday after next and this Christmas all fucking month marathon, or what the fuck else they be overly showing. There's mad movies to be loving basketball. Like they just keep showing us shit. And so for Tyler Perry to not even be able to own a network that he's actually giving original content to, like he was the whole reason they started the BET Plus streaming service. So you could get his fucking content. And I think it was literally just to what's happening with Queen? It was literally just to distract us from the fact that this young Negro, Tyler Perry, was never going to own BET. You're not going to be able to, as a black man in this country, you're not going to be able to make money off of something that you also own. You can't do both. They're not going to let you make money off of it and own it. No, you were the property at one point in time. You got to remember that in America, they're not going to let you.
What's going on, Queen Sinai?
In peace. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good. We've been talking about what we've been hoodwinked, thinking that Tyler Perry owned BET. Apparently, he does not.
And it works BET.
Just works for him. All this time, I'm thinking he bought BET and had VH1 on top of it.
He like the top guy in charge, though.
Yeah.
That's what.
All I'm hearing now is the deal fell through. $2 billion wasn't enough to get it. He's lowballing, and that's a lot. Being that Tyler Perry is cheap in other aspects of life, he really put a lot of money and thought into this. Now, from what I'm hearing too, he owns a piece of it. He's a minority owner, but he's not a majority owner. He still owns a piece of it. He wants to become the majority owner, which would mean he could make more decisions about what kind of programming would go on the show.
He already got all the programs.
Yeah, but that's what they allow. Just like
what's funny is
the
they allowed him.
BET Wars.
They allowed him to buy a slave plantation so that he can continue to make content for a network that he can't even fucking own. You can own a slave plantation, but you can't own black entertainment television.
Well, Bob Johnson had it. Bob Johnson let it go.
And that nigga probably sold it for less than $2 billion.
Oh, he definitely did. I mean, that's how it goes.
They probably offer him like, we'll give you like 56 mil for it, maybe 60. Yeah, stroking my beard.
That's how he became a billionaire. I don't know. He might have sold it for like $1 billion.
I could see him selling it for like maybe 200-300 mil. I could see him giving like some 100 mils.
Let's see.
Let me Google that real quick.
Yeah, someone. I got my phone sitting right here in front of me, but someone else.
Let me see.
$3 billion. So so with the money so he put up $2 billion. I'm gonna look at this from the standpoint of a Augusta pimp. I put $2 billion on the table.
Well,
I done already brought about $5 billion worth of revenue streams, worth of new content. I done gave you 6 seasons of these scandalous hoes in the White House.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at it like this though. If he did sell it for $3 billion, then the next person probably gonna have to sell it for that much or more. So $2 billion would be kind of low.
Those are my thoughts.
Man,
It's a low ball, absolutely.
And especially if it's
I'm trying to figure out how you all
money.
actually thought he owned it.
Say that again, Quincy.
Where did the perspective that he owned it came from? Like, how did we think he actually owned it before? Was that like some misinformation that was floating?
Yeah, misinformation. I saw numerous articles say he owned it. I seen people celebrating on there, like when Obama won the first election, like, yeah, we got a black person in the White House, and it's like, yeah, we got somebody on BET.
And a lot of these articles come from motherfuckers that are allowed to write articles themselves, like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I saw anything from any official. And who's to say who the fuck is and who the fuck isn't official? If your website looks official enough, you could fool anyone. And I think that's what was happening. You know, like we don't see things or we don't read and consume news the way we used to by opening up a big ass newspaper and actually having to read through a long ass article, or sitting down and watching an actual an actual news broadcast. We scroll, we stop for a little bit, and sometimes, like, I'll click the actual article. It's an actual article. Somebody went through the trouble to type this out, but it's filler. It's there. They just gave you a clickbaity clickbaity title. Tyler Perry owns BET, but then when you read the article, it's actually them just talking about how he's planning, or he put in a bid to own BET, and it's, you know, expected that he will be one of them. Like, blatant lies to get you to click on the article or to share it, because a lot of people just share it without even reading it. A lot of people, like, they just looking for that headline, that picture, that caption.
I read plenty of articles that said that. I didn't just look at the headline, but
and then
misinformation. We did a whole topic about it. We talked about it, and we were happy for it, but, you know, apparently it's not true.
I'm gonna throw I don't think I was happy for it at all. So I don't know if I'm glad.
I can understand your point though, because you know, people was like, you know, it's like the devil buying the devil back. You know, I mean, I don't know who. It depends on how you look at it. You know.
Yeah, because what's he going?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it.
Like, what was he
going to do? I love Tyler Perry movies, but I'm not a huge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what was he gonna do other than add more Tyler Perry content to BET? And I'm gonna be honest, we don't need more Tyler Perry content.
Add more bad wigs to the guy.
I don't know. That's what I was gonna say. Those are some of his bad investments. Those wigs.
Yeah. But, you know, that's from what I've seen too. You know, this is kind of sidetracking. You know, looking at how billionaires live their life, they're usually pretty cheap in a lot of aspects. They usually don't show off a lot. Of course, they live in some mansions, got some nice cars, but you'll see a lot of them that don't wear a lot of jewelry, don't wear a lot of expensive clothes. And I was like, well, maybe that's how they got rich, because they cut corners everywhere they could, saved up money, and spend it where they need.
I think it's the opposite of that. I think it's, instead of, because that's something that our people have that we have to save our money in order to become rich or wealthy. It takes risk. Like, you have to take that one time large investment that is going to benefit you in the long run. Like, it takes not just saving your money, but investing your money. Like, that's what Tyler Perry was trying to do right here.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Invest his money into something that's going to make him money over time. That $2 billion you putting down on the table, that's going to be minuscule in 2 years when you've pumped these people full of Tyler Perry presents Star Wars or some shit.
I agree with that. Yeah, but you got to take risk in something that will build money, not something that will depreciate. When our people are just putting money into gold chains and shoes and clothes that's going to depreciate, that's not, you know, taking a risk. Well, that is taking a risk.
It's just wrong kind of risk. Like, when we're saving it, it's just sitting in our account while inflation continues to go up. So yeah, you got $5,000 in your account, but if you wait until next year to do something with it, next year the price of living gonna go up by about $5,000.
So one of the challenges is that responsible investing is not being taught. People are just saying, hold your pennies or keep it under the mattress. And then you have a whole nother portion of the culture that would rather have a Bugatti and a big old chain, right?
Right.
They're saving up for the chain.
If you Jalopy and a lucrative investment, I think I'm good.
That's not even taking a risk. That is a risk. You don't get no return on investment on that unless you talk about it.
But it's a safe purchase because it's an emotional purchase. It's going to make you feel good in the moment. It's going to give you that immediate gratification.
Yeah, it's an emotional return.
I got the Bugatti. I don't need to be rich because I'm kind of rich because I got a Bugatti.
Yeah, I think that that emotional spending is a huge trap for our folks.
Just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this. Damn it, we lost them. We never getting them back.
Queen Sinai.
Did we? Let me just keep my thoughts to
No,
myself.
go ahead. Go ahead. What you got to say?
I shall not speak on Yeezy. I won't. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen.
He's being handled.
Maybe he'll pull down a zipper and an extraterrestrial will come out. We don't know.
That
what's
man is
really
heavily
going on.
sedated and monitored 28
You know what I'm
8.
saying?
Like that man,
Yeah.
the white woman that he's wearing, I'm putting quotations on white woman because she could unzip her fucking face and be a lizard person.
A white woman.
Okay.
Is she not really a white woman?
This white woman.
Listen. White is a crayon in a box. Okay.
She ain't
Let's
even got no
just
pink.
stop it.
Pink woman. Can we go with pink?
This apparently terrestrial female of the Caucasoid persuasion. I think she's a handler. I think she is I think she's paid by the medical professionals that are keeping Kanye West sedated and silent. Because it's literally been months and he ain't said or did shit to trend. He's literally just been out photographed looking dad, like a divorced dad.
I mean, how much do we trust the mainstream media? So, like, listen, this has always been my perspective. When a person reaches a certain financial plateau, if you will, I don't ever believe it's some tweeting or typing or anything anyway. Then we're in the deep fake era. But listen, I'm a huge conspiracy theorist anyway. So, again, I got to keep my thoughts on silent. He said, welcome.
Come and get you.
Happy to be here. All
right. Queen Sinai. Am I saying your name right? I don't want to say.
You are. Thank you.
Okay. So please tell us before we get into the festivities for tonight about your podcast. I'm about to put the graphic up here right quick that you gave me.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, there we go. This is You Hear, the Just Live podcast.
Just live.
I'm sorry. Just live. That makes sense. That was grammatically incorrect. Okay. Just Live podcast. Tell us about where we can find you and what it's about.
Well, let me start with the theme music for that promotional material was actually from my single Misunderstood, or Incompris in French. And so I am a vocal music artist, I'm a fashion designer, and my podcast, the Just Live podcast, stands on the platform of how will you just live. So for me, I just live through my fashion, through my music, through building the community one person at a time. So the people who come on are typically involved in very positive things in the community, from poets to artists, designers, people who do community outreach. And so, yeah, that's what my show is about. I come on Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's a very short show, but it's a very informative and fun show. So,
where do you come on Sundays? Like, what's
on YouTube? YouTube. QS Queen Sanaa is my YouTube channel. Y'all are welcome to subscribe and follow and look at my shorts and tell me how much you love me. I love the love. Thank you. And I'm also on Facebook Live, QS Queen Sanaa as well. And I'm on all streaming platforms as Queen Sanaa, and my clothing line is Savvy Chic Clothing. I do all the things because I like doing the things.
Is that on a website? The clothing?
Yeah, savvychicclothing.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
yep.
Yeah, I'm on green screen. I'll subscribe.
Very much. Thank you very, very much.
That's what's up. Okay. So now we're going to get to the festivities. The first thing we're going to talk about, maybe none of us heard about it, but I think most people heard about it, is Alabama Brawl situation.
Yeah. Feel good.
It's sad, but I'm kind of appreciative that it happened for the reason people not really thinking about, probably. I'm appreciative that it happened because it got us to forget about Carly Russell.
Yeah, damn, it worked. I forgot.
And where was that at?
She was in Alabama too, wasn't she?
Yeah. So Carly Russell pushed us back 200 years. The Alabama Brawl pushed us forward 300 years. So we're in the positive right now. We are good right now. So it was, I don't advocate for violence, but I do advocate for togetherness. And that's exactly what happened in this video, where this man was clearly trying to do his job as a security guard. And these people, who happened to be white, came up on top of him and tried to attack him. And he tried to take on all comers, even threw his hat. You knew what it was on when he threw that hat.
Yeah,
I said, oh
facts.
man. And he took on all comers, and all of a sudden, like the movie Endgame, where all the Avengers and all the other fighters came together to fight Thanos,
I understand this reference.
they came together and whooped some ass.
Yeah.
I'm,
I heard he was the captain or the
yeah,
co-captain.
He is the captain now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, everyone understand
Not
that.
even a security guard. I heard he had some authority in the
he
situation.
definitely did, and they did not want to listen to authority. And
They did not respect his authority.
maybe he should hire the rest of them to, help him out. Be some backup deputies for him because he needed it for that situation.
He needs some because when the home team came out, they came to play, and goddamn it, Chuck, they put up points on the board, about 30 points, 40 points. This was a good win for Black people. This was a good win for Black people all over the world. Back to you on the floor.
We're gonna play a video right quick that talks about the situation and what's
John
kind
Madden
of happening, kind of in the recent activity in the news. Look at it right quick, and then we're gonna comment and give our opinions on what happened that fateful day.
Our first look at one of the people allegedly at the center of the Riverfront Brawl in Montgomery, Alabama. Richard Roberts is one of the 3 men now facing assault charges, along with Alan Todd and Zachary Shipman. Police were waiting for Todd and Shipman to surrender overnight.
An event that certainly was avoidable.
The brawl erupted when a riverboat co-captain tried moving a pontoon boat parked in the designated spot for a commercial ship coming in.
The co-captain was doing his job. He was simply trying to move the boat in just enough to where the cruise ship can park safely in its identified location. However, it quickly escalated into a fisticuff encounter.
In these videos that are part of the police investigation, a shirtless man confronts the co-captain and a fight breaks out. Several people then jump in, outnumbering the captain. Moments later, witnesses, who happen to be Black, rushed in to help the worker, running, even swimming to the scene, beating back the people who attacked the man. One used a folding chair to hit someone over the head. Police say that man with the chair is now wanted for questioning. But for now, investigators are not filing any charges related to racial bias.
We did examine if there was enough to file hate crimes charges on this case. And again, we rely heavily on advice from the FBI. We've also looked at what it takes to elevate this to a riot, inciting a riot. We've worked with our local district attorney, and it didn't fit the criteria for that.
Although police said they found no evidence for hate crime charges, they say the investigation is ongoing.
All right, so that was it. That was that right there. So, what do you think about this situation? When you first saw that video, saw those people attacking him, and then all of a sudden all the brothers came up. I think there was a couple sisters in there too. I could be wrong, but they came up and helped this guy in his time of need. What did you think about that?
I hope I don't get fired for this, but I felt this overwhelming sense of pride. I felt, I don't typically use the term Black. You guys can judge me. I don't care. I'm a Moor. But I typically feel that, you know what I'm saying? I feel embarrassed often by the way we are portrayed in the media, but the sheer expression of unity in the community, the way my people rose up as a collective and fought as one, I was astounded. I was astounded. I was proud to be Black. Yeah.
At this time, you were proud of me.
We have some moments, y'all know, because I still have Carly Russell in my mind, and it may not in my mind have been 400 years, but definitely about 2. We got
see, yeah. It didn't set the whole movement back, but damn, close enough. Yeah. But this, I think, pushed it forward.
Agree. Totally agree.
Okay. LT, what did you think about this when you saw this video for the first time?
Man, well, actually, the first time I saw this video, I just started working for a new logo with my job. And there's probably literally me, another Black dude, and a young Black lady on the team. He hit me up on the Teams chat on the side. It was like, yo, like, because it's different when it's like, hello, hey, how are you doing today? Like, what I'm saying? We both know, everyone on the team knows how to code switch when our cams are on and we're talking to everyone. But on the sideline, he sent me this Facebook link, and I was like, what is this dude trying to say? To make a long story longer, I love everything that I saw here. It's dope to share more. So you was probably able to track that down. I've been able to track down that I'm Nubian. You know what I'm saying? And Nubia was actually referred to as Tasseti. Tasseti translates to the land of the bow, because the Nubians had some of the best archers, some of the best warriors in all of Eastern Africa, damn near all of Northern Africa. So what I saw here was a calling back to our ancient origins of always being nice with the hands and ready with the shits. You know what I'm saying? It got real brolic, and I'm glad that, because what was scary, I saw someone say this on Twitter. What was scary was that these white people, these Caucasoids, these Yakubs, were going to beat the fuck out of this captain who was simply doing his job in broad daylight.
You said too much. You froze up, LT. I knew you said too much. Now you're in trouble.
Damn it. Am I back?
You're back. You're back. Go ahead.
Boom.
Go ahead.
Boom.
Get it out before they get back
They're
to
trying
you,
to
man.
stop the Nubian gnosis, but it can't be done. You know what I'm saying? That's word to Yeshua. But yeah, these white people, they felt like they could beat the brakes off of this black man who was simply doing his job in broad daylight and no harm would come to them. They felt within their rights to do so. So I love that black people, like, because I feel like the biggest thing that halts us is fear. We watch what has been, like, literally on the birthday of a Marcus Garvey, that is today. We watched our black, specifically our male black leaders, be murdered and jailed and castrated and humiliated and emasculated all in front of us. So, and that's particularly what we need as a group of people. Like, we entertain people with our violence. We terrorize our own neighborhoods with our violence. It's about time that our power, our destructive power, our quote unquote, especially from the black man, our toxic masculinity, be focused into a positive direction. And what that was what we say always needs to happen: protecting a black man. That's what the fuck happened. I'm glad to see it. Chuck, like I said, when the guy pulled out the chair, I just knew that I was in store for a SmackDown, and that shout out to the Undertaker. You know, back to you.
I'm gonna tell you what I thought about. First thing that came to my head, and it's probably a little odd, but that's my head. I thought about George Zimmerman. When I thought about George Zimmerman, I think about when I thought about George Zimmerman, this is why. Because too many times I see our people fight amongst each other, fighting over land we don't own, fighting over music that we don't own either. Fighting on, we did a video, the girl that the son had to come in Chicago, shoot the guy that was harassing the lady.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that amongst ourselves, but for whatever reason, we seem to be afraid of any other race that affects us. We run. We don't say anything. All of a sudden, we're scared of the police. We're scared of everybody else but our own, to kill our own. We value the life of everyone else but our own. To see this happen, where this guy was being beat down, but I ain't even gonna say group. I'm gonna say a gang of people, gang of white people at this juncture, because they would have used that word if that was the other situation was turned around. They would have called it a gang. They would have called it a bunch of thugs. I was proud to see that they actually came together to help this guy, because they didn't know him. They didn't know him from nowhere.
A nigga swam.
They just saw a black guy that was in need, and they helped him out. I hope they would do the same thing if there was a black woman that's getting hurt, getting beat up or whatever, and she's in need. I would hope they do the same thing.
Let's keep this energy.
That's where the pride for me came from. It's like, help somebody that's in need. Don't just hold your damn phones up. Of course, there were some people doing it, and I'm glad they did at least record it. But a lot of times in these situations, we just record, stand back, and watch the massacre happen. So I'm so glad that they actually took initiative and helped somebody that was black, that was in need. I felt pride for that.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what would have happened if the cops were never called. Like, would it have been the last man standing, or the last crew standing, or
Oh hell, the fuck yeah.
interesting to see. I don't condone violence either, but
This is self-defense. I don't even call it violence. I call it self-defense at this point.
Where that white man was aggressive. He was
White
aggressive,
men,
off
men,
balance, and
more than one.
you could tell that they had never fought before. You could tell that there was what's the word? No rhythm, no secretness, no skill behind what they were doing. They were literally just, and because they get into numbers, and it's really mob mentality that drives them the fucking most. And yeah, they really thought nobody was gonna do shit. So a whole niggas jumped into the water and swam for another man that he did not know. Dispelling the we can't swim stereotype.
Yes, yes. I was about to say the same thing.
Like the Black Lives Matter, the black people, yes, enough for one of us to swim. To that was for the Ebos who jumped in the water because they knew that death was better than bondage. He swam to shore to go save that black man. Because a lot of we sit around always thinking, talking about it on social media. We always waiting for the wish a motherfucker would moment, but it's always one of us that we wish would. We always wish a nigga would. We wish a bitch would. Sometimes it's we wish a cracker would. We wish a ooh, I was about to get us cut off right here on the stream. I've been watching a lot of South Park, as I said, and I was about to throw out one of them Cartman words. But we never say we wish those people who run the media in Hollywood should, and we definitely don't say we wish any of the alphabet people would. We don't say that. But all of these communities are actively against us. There are so many communities and so many systems and institutions that are actively against us, and we fear them because they have the law on their side. We fear them because they have not only the legal court, but the court of public opinion on their side, because we've always been portrayed to not only be violent, but to be chaotically violent, meaning we're violent to ourselves, and crab in a barrel mentality. So I'm glad that these crabs got to shore and they attacked some white people. Glad it happened in the summertime.
Strength in numbers. This needs to show right here. Strength in numbers.
Million Man March type shit.
Let me let Sparky T get in right quick. Sparky T, what did you think when you first saw this video? What were your thoughts?
Y'all know I was happy as hell.
Damn right.
Soon as I seen it's crazy because I hadn't seen it at first, and I was out somewhere, and one of my people was like, "What you think about the brawl in Alabama?" I was like, "What you talking about?" They were like, "Come on, you didn't say it." I was like, So when they pushed me to see it, I was like, oh, and I started watching. Oh yeah, I was happy. I was proud of my people. And I'm not gonna say that I ain't gonna say I don't condone violence, but I don't really condone violence like that. But if you need it, or if you bring it, then you deserve to get it. I was just really, really, really happy that we came together to protect that black man. Because like you said so many times, people stand around, pull their phone out, couldn't be my granddaddy, all that type shit. Mm-hmm. But collectively, he's all of our granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? He's a granddaddy in the black community. He could be any of our grandfather. I'm glad that they all jumped in there to have his back and to kick their ass. You know what I'm saying? I was really happy when I saw the video. Dudes swimming across, Cookie Phelps swimming across, the water to make sure he got there. Yeah. Pulled himself out the water, got out the water, and still was, fighting and swinging, wet and everything. And, of course, homeboy laying him out with the chair. He could have, possibly left the chair. The only thing that I have heard has been valid. Another black man that said it. His thing was, but the man with the chair basically was hitting women and old people, and so his thing was, but y'all have that same energy if that was a black woman, if it was a white man hitting a black woman, y'all would have an issue, so to speak. So we need to keep that same energy is what somebody was saying. And I kind of hear all that and everything, but I was happy they kicked their ass. And that's just it. I mean, that's just it for so long. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's punching back. We've had to be people's punching back legally on TV with people shooting target. We've been sprayed with water hoses, dogs unleashed on us, all kinds of shit. We've been living in fear and sometimes in terror for years. And it's about time that we done let it be known that it's not okay for people to just treat us any kind of way. If you're doing something, we will pull up. Even if that means we got to swim across the water to get there. Like, yeah, I was with all of that. I was with all of that. Y'all know if I was there, my ass would have been fighting.
You would have had a chair. Oh, you might have something with you. You might have a gun.
Something else. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to shoot nobody. I ain't got to shoot them.
This Alabama.
Yeah, but to me that was good. Even that, it didn't have to come to all of that. Like, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got your hands, we got our hands. Y'all got your people. Guess what? Y'all thought he was by himself, but he had his people too. You know what I'm saying?
He pulled up his pants. He did the shit where he pulled like, if I pull up my pants and I'm walking towards you,
listen. He threw up the bat signal. You know what I'm saying? He threw up the signal. The signal went up and he came.
Because this started as an altercation between just those two men. If other people felt like they needed, no one stopped. The white people that interjected, they didn't interject to break it up. They took that as their opportunity to also assault a black man. So that, I'm always going to be happy that we came together. But I want these other criminals arrested.
Oh, yeah.
Well, four of them that got arrested so far, right?
Good.
I think 4 of them and 1 of us. Yeah. 4 of them and 1 of us have so far been arrested. That's the count.
And then the women got
involved. The only one of us that got involved. The only one of us that got arrested was the dude with the chair that I heard so far. That was it. He turned himself in.
I thought they got the boy who swam. Aquaman is what they're calling him.
Wow, that's good.
I thought they got him too, but I know a lot of GoFundMes have been set up.
See, I hadn't heard nothing that they had got him yet, but I'm gonna look now. But I had heard that, like I said, the other one turned himself in, but I had heard that it was only 5 of them, that 5 people that had gotten arrested so far. They were just saying it was that one black guy. So I don't know. Maybe the number's up to 6 now. But what they get the man that swim across the thing for? What they get him for swimming in public water?
No, for fighting. It was still a public brawl. But here's the thing that I don't understand about this turned himself in. Didn't they arrest him on the scene? Like, you could see them taking him away.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
So did they let him go and he came back?
I don't know, because it said that it took him. It said that it took him 2 days after they had put out the thing that they wanted him to turn himself in. But a guy ain't gonna turn himself in, is what they said in the article I read.
Here's one I don't give a fuck about none of that. Did they ask any of the January 6th people insurrection to turn themselves in? Did they
Nope.
There's
did.
Thousands of them still walking around at large.
Still walking around. It never happened.
These motherfuckers stormed the Capitol. Y'all want to arrest some people swiftly over probably a drunken brawl. Like, everybody was probably a little off that shit. And yeah, like, some shit went down.
Yeah. In the same place where Trump had a rally a couple of days prior. Am I allowed to say his name? I don't know. But he had a rally a couple of days prior. You know how you
around here.
These YouTube streets. Yeah.
So yeah, there has been 4. There was a 4th person. Let's see, it was charged. That might be last Thursday. It might be an old article. Let's see, what is her name? Mary Todd, 21, was charged with 3rd-degree assault. She was being held Thursday at Montgomery Municipal Jail. Let's see, the other 3 were charged: Richard Roberts, Alan Todd, and Zachary Shipman, all facing 3rd-degree assault. So far, yeah, I think there's 4 people, on the white people's side.
Okay, good. Do they have more being arrested than we do?
That's what I see so far. I only see 1 person in this article.
Come on, justice system.
And I'm not sure which one. I don't know if that's the Aqua guy or that's another guy or what. That's the one black guy that was arrested.
Because now what needs to happen is we have to be able to the fighting isn't done. And that's where we as black people, or this current incarnation, this current generation of black people, we forget that the fighting isn't done. We also have to show up and support these people. We have to tune in for their trial. The same way we would tune in for Meg and Tory's trial. The same way we tuned in for R. Kelly or Michael Jackson or any of that shit. We also have to show up and tune in and be a support system for these people as they go through legal trials. Because whereas we have won the physical fight, there is a legal fight that these people are going to face. These white people don't just lay down and take L's after they don't just take their L. They find another way to fuck you over. That's usually the prison system for us. That's usually suing us because we don't have that knowledge, we don't have that experience. We don't have the representation. We don't have the collateral to just have people want to take our cases like that.
What do you think? I was thinking about this the other day, and of course, with time, things have to evolve. I always think can't stay the same way because people change and laws change, whatever. So you got the 1960s, you got the civil rights era, you got Martin Luther King's side, where I understand why he was doing it, the whole nonviolent thing, to get people to show on the news that they're getting mistreated and they're not doing anything. They're not fighting back. And then it got the hearts of some people in America, maybe the lawmakers of America, and they were able to change certain laws for Black people in America. I don't think that would work anymore. I don't think you can be peaceful and just do marches and stuff like that. I don't think that works today. I think it worked back then. I think we had to evolve from that. But I don't think necessarily you could be that way. I think we have to evolve past that. More of a Malcolm stance. I think you can maybe start off that way, maybe ask for what you want, but eventually when you don't get it, you have to take means into your hands. I don't think you can no longer just ask somebody who's in control of what happens in your life to give you something when they don't give a damn for you. Because, all we've done when we've been asking, all we got is some holidays and Black people off of syrup bottles and rice boxes. We haven't gotten any real change. We got some name changes. LT, as you know, here in the city, we changed Fort Bragg to Fort Liberty. That doesn't do anything for us.
We still got Bragg Boulevard, so it's like...
Yeah, eventually that might change too, but really, how does that help us?
Liberty Boulevard. Yeah, we still have the Market Fair house downtown, the Market Fair, the building where they actually sold slaves out of, but they painted a nice little stop racism around it.
That does nothing.
It's still there, still standing. We lobbied, we wanted it taken down, but they met us halfway by...
That ain't even halfway. That's a quarter of the way. That's an eighth of the way.
It's not shit. But yeah, they
I can't pay back anything from years lost of slavery and whatever jobs lost due to racism with paint on the road. That ain't shit.
The building is a much larger monument that you're going to notice, while the painted "Stop Racism" and "Black Lives Matter" is on the ground, and you're going to drive over that and not give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
And that's just
like putting "Stop Racism" on a toilet bowl.
That's 100% intentional for it to be on the ground.
Yeah, put "Stop Racism" on a toilet bowl, and that's all that basically is. Oh, I can read it, but I'm gonna shit all over it.
Because you're still trying to capitalize off of this being a part of historical Fayetteville. You're still trying to capitalize off of the quote unquote tourist attraction that this may be, which is sick. But that's also America. Like to go to your point about not being able to be like MLK Jr. these days, it's an outdated model, I truly believe, but it's honestly it's one that we've been repeating throughout human history. The peaceful martyr. And the reason a lot of people don't want to do it, the peaceful martyr always becomes the sacrificial lamb. That's the only way people actually end up like a Gandhi, you know what I'm saying? Like a Jesus Christ. The person that operates through nonviolence, people only truly latch onto their message after they die, after their life has been given in peaceful protest. And no one wants to fucking do that. But also when there's
die for the movement.
I'm sorry.
What, die for the movement?
Die peacefully for the world. They never die. I love the quote that is so ironic. Men of peace always die violently. So it kind of makes you question, why the fuck weren't y'all violent? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? To get you, they didn't mind. The Romans didn't mind being violent with Jesus Christ. White people didn't mind being violent with Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm not saying, again, not trying to advocate for violence in any way, but we are so ready to defend ourselves against ourselves But there are literal towns where the town comes together to keep us outside of it after the sun goes down. That still happens in our current America. And it's real. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, because I don't want to interrupt you. Please finish your thought.
No, I'll ramble. Go ahead.
Okay. So my thoughts are there are and have always been towns where our people would allow you the opportunity to fuck around and find out, as we saw on this beautiful day in Alabama. That is not um, a monolith experience or whatever the word is, but that it happens. We just don't necessarily hear about it. Even MOKJR, I like the way you said that, talked about financial independence and fiscal responsibility and separating ourselves from those who kind of have this centralized economic system to keep us in a certain space. We didn't hear those stories. We didn't hear about where he was talking about if you don't give it to us, we're going to take it. We heard about the nonviolence, getting punched in the face and turning the other cheek. That's a narrative that's been pushed for ages, along with the fear narrative to keep us from doing what we did on that fateful day in Alabama.
And if I could
So
pile on top of that, that's actually a narrative that the CIA and other American government organizations that have purposefully run with. They've adopted that image of MLK to sell to us because they want us to start thinking, hey, race doesn't matter. Remember that guy you love? He said race didn't matter, and he wanted you to be nonviolent. So if you're gonna protest, do it the way he did. It's literally just like the Jesus story, or the guy. They take pieces and elements of what they want to appropriate from this potentially radical figure for a group, galvanizing a group of people that they are currently trying to oppress. They'll give you back that profit, but they'll give you a watered down, bastardized version of that profit. And you're right, we're not going to hear about, again, shout out to him because it's his birthday, we're not going to hear about a Marcus Garvey, about a person who literally fought against white people, about a person who J. Edgar Hoover himself cut his teeth in the legal business by framing and putting behind bars. You're not going to hear about the stories of the way that the CIA implanted fake Muslims into the Nation of Islam to turn Malcolm and his brothers against each other. We're not going to hear these stories because we live in a nation that we're the descendants of slaves. Like, they're not going to teach you things about. Again, Native American kids go to school and learn that Christopher Columbus founded this country. For us, they're literally trying to wipe out slavery from our textbooks and trying to make it just look like a form of indentured servitude. So Martin Luther King, he was very radical in ways that we just don't know about. And it's a shame that we don't. But that's also a reason why we have to, just piggyback on it and learn these things for ourselves. We know how to fight. We're good with the hands. Now we need to learn how to fight when it comes to our legal endeavors and our financial endeavors.
Queen Sinatra, you brought up a point about what Martin Luther King was talking about towards the end of his career, and you do have a good point. And this is where I usually question people when they talk about, let's just say, the Montgomery bus boycott. Now, I always say I don't think it had anything to do with morality. It had something to do with financial. It wasn't all of a sudden where people just all of a sudden just changed their minds because someone wanted to be from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. It's that the bus were going bankrupt. It was financial. So they were worried about their pockets at that time when that boycott was happening. And then it was like, okay, we'll let you guys sit in the front of the bus as long as you go back to riding the bus. Financial. But the thing was, when Martin became radical was when he wanted some money for us, when he wanted to split the pie as far as workers is concerned, when he wanted to give the workers fair pay. Then all of a sudden, oh, he's a radical, a peaceful guy. One of the most peaceful people in the world is now a radical because he wanted us to get equal pieces of the pie for workers. That's just one part of it. So that is crazy. That's why I'm not sure that's how, if the boycott thing would work today. If we wanted something when it comes to equal pay of the economic pie, it's not even about this being peaceful. It's just about we're taking money out of other people's pockets and they don't want to divvy it up. That's why reparations is such a big thing. It's not because they don't think they did anything wrong, the ancestors did anything wrong. It's because they don't want to lose any money when it comes to it. and I won't say the lower white people. I'll say the most elite white people, if there's such things for that. I'll say it's for them. They don't want to lose any money, and they definitely don't want to give it to Buck.
No, I agree with that. You have all these foundations. I'm gonna be as frank and transparent as I can in a way where I could still walk out my front door tomorrow morning and not have to look around me. But you have all these foundations that pour money into things like early childhood, things like disparaged communities, et cetera, and that is supposed to be the way of giving back. But it still comes with all these stipulations that still keep people in the same disparaged situations that they're in and actually turn them into data pools. You know what I mean? And my challenge with that is we don't really even have anything to pull from to even get started, right? I believe we're over 400 years behind, not just because of the slave trade. But because there was still a group of people who looked like us that were willing to turn a profit by getting rid of people like us.
There you go. I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's deeper than deep.
You're exactly right.
The thing that we have nowadays that we
on,
didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me just make this point right quick. Everyone else can go back to where they came from and get support. Asian people that are immigrants over here. If something is done wrong, okay, let's just talk about all the Asian fights that were happening during COVID when people were saying, hey, go back to China, whatever, you brought COVID over here. People were getting beat up. And the China community said, if you don't do something about this, we know we give a lot of you guys products, a lot of your products. You need us. We're going to shut that shit down. If you do not make a law quickly to help our brothers and sisters over here that are Chinamen. And it got done that year within less than 6 months, probably less, maybe a couple months. I was like, and how long have we been here and trying to get a law like that passed? We don't have the help of our African sisters and brothers over there because they view us as a part of them. They've separated completely from us. I mean, not all of them, but most of them. They don't view us as that. We are outside people when it comes to them. And we're outside people here. And we live here. So like, where do we turn to? That's why we have to build within our own community here, sadly, as it is. Another reason why it was such a great moment to see what happened in the Alabama Brawl. But yeah, that's what I want to say right quick. Go ahead, LT.
Oh, honestly, that ties into what I was going to say. What we have now, more than we've ever had, especially in the 60s, 70s, and until we get to the very commercialized, consumerized decade that is the 80s and 90s, we have more black faces keeping us trapped. Like, because what happened with that, with the Asian hatred and all the people that were attacking elderly Asians, Asian actors and Asian stars in America came together to say, no, I'm not going to be Shang-Chi if this doesn't stop. So not only did they have a basis of their home countries, because Asia, this is what I had to tell another black person, Asia is more than just China and Japan. Asia is an entire continent. You have India in there. You have Iraq in there. You have fucking Afghanistan in there. You have Saudi Arabia and Jerusalem in there. Asia is a large continent. So you got Mindy chiming in, Mindy Kaling. I used to watch the Mindy Project and I love The Office. You got Aziz Ansari chiming in. You got fucking Camille Nanjiani, who was also in the Marvel's Eternals. So they came together with their American-based celebrities, African-American-based celebrities, do a good job at keeping us over here. Like, even if we can't go back to a specific nation in Africa, we can't go to Jamaica or any other African nation or primarily African populated nation in South America. We have more black millionaires in America than I would say any other race. I would say there's more black millionaires than Mexican millionaires. I would say there's more black millionaires than Chinese millionaires even so. But yeah, they sell us liquor. They sell us clothes. They sell us $1,500 to $5,000 concert tickets. And when things happen to us, they don't tell us to stop. They only tell us to stop supporting things when those things are no longer supporting them. Kanye West only told us to stop purchasing expensive clothes when he couldn't get the money he wanted from those expensive clothes manufacturers. We have the highest paid salesmen And that's what our celebrities do. And when we have things like, we couldn't even boycott Gucci, we couldn't even boycott Balenciaga, because we're consumers. Like, we're literally built to, we want convenience and we want comfortability, and we're not willing to sacrifice having that. Because again, like I was saying earlier, if you can purchase the expensive thing, you feel like you are slightly rich or wealthy. And a lot of people are content and comfortable with that. And it's kind of what the system has been catered to us for. Like what she was saying about the government assistance that we received, that was purposely implemented by the CIA. The main stipulation that a woman has to have so that she can receive government assistance is having no black man in the home. You have to not have the appropriate system for you to take care of yourself and the life that you have created. That's the only way you're going to get these food, because white women don't have to deal with that. They will literally look at a white woman and say, why don't you have a husband? If you're like, there's things put in place to keep us where we are. And unless we start, that's what I love about this video. It was regular black people reacting to this. Because again, I haven't seen any black celebrities say too much about this. I haven't seen any black celebrities big this up. I haven't, because honestly, black celebrities should be the first one to bail these people out if they get arrested.
They ain't gonna do that shit.
I know.
You might have a couple of them. You might have a couple of them that'll come. You might have a Kyrie, or somebody that's gonna put some bread up. You know what I'm saying? But most of them are more worried about, the marketability. They worried about saying the wrong thing and getting their ass cut off. Affecting the money of their household. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't affect them. So a lot of times they ain't saying nothing. Just like when Black Lives Matter was going on, the things with George Floyd and different things, and when it turned into not just Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. When things, people like Lil Wayne and stuff like that can't say Black Lives Matter. It's got to turn to all lives matter. That shit matters. We understand all lives matter, but all lives ain't gonna matter till Black Lives Matter. The fact that you can't say Black Lives Matter because you're worried about getting cut the hell off by somebody, that's an issue. That's an issue.
Took a whole picture.
It's the
with
people
Donald
that
Trump.
are kids. Yeah, well, he did that shit because he knew that Trump was about to, you know what I'm saying, let them off of them little charges or whatever. Just like Kodak, all them that he did the little pardon they charges and all that shit. I mean, so I get, you took your picture so you can get your shit erased. I get it, but it's still, to me, a form of selling out. Like, y'all can't even be,
We have $1 million slaves.
Puppets. They like little ventriloquists. You know what I'm saying? Little marionette puppets. They strings getting pulled all the time. It's crazy.
I'll give you a good example of what you were just talking about, Sparky T. What did Jamie Foxx just apologize for? You see where he got in trouble and he apologized for?
After the stuff where he came out talking about Diddy then?
No.
And the sex party stuff?
No, he had a post. This may have been like a week and a half ago. And he apologized. I'm gonna let y'all. I want y'all to hear me say it. And well, Sparky ain't see it. I want you to. I want you to hear what he should have apologized for when I read it to you. Okay. He said they killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? Then he had a hashtag fake friends, fake love. All right. Nobody say nothing else. What do you think he should apologize for based on that tweet?
Not a damn thing.
What do you think the tweet was about?
Like he said, they killed Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? I mean, but what? Because he referenced, we're gonna try to make a parallel between us not being equivalent to Jesus, but what did he have to apologize for?
Okay, I agree with you. And he also put the hashtag fake friends, fake love. When I read it, I thought, because we use that quote a lot when it comes to, people talk about, oh, I can't believe I'm getting treated bad, and I can't believe people are coming up against me. I'm like, hey, they did this to Jesus. What do you think they're going to do?
Right.
I use that phrase.
Right.
It's so honestly.
Jewish people came against him and said they thought it was about them.
About them?
Yeah. And
I didn't know it was actual Jewish people. I thought it was really just here's the story I heard. It wasn't Jewish people. It was Jennifer Aniston. She called him anti-Semitic. I didn't know she was Jewish.
No, there was Jewish people coming against him before that.
So were Jewish people just agreeing with Jennifer Aniston? Like, which one came first? Jewish people.
Jewish people came first. See, what Jennifer Aniston don't make no damn sense to me, because she had an ambiguous apology. I'm gonna read it in a minute, but the Jewish people were saying, I guess they're saying because it's been said that they killed Jesus, and that Jamie was saying, y'all the reason why Jesus got killed. That had nothing to do with the post whatsoever. Jamie apologized. Let's see what he said. I'm trying to find it.
I'm telling you, I think it was Jennifer Aniston. Like she like responded to him on her IG story, tagging him, and calling him anti-Semitic.
No, she apologized because they were coming after her. They were coming after her. They were coming after her because they thought that she liked the post, and she said something about, hey, I didn't like the post. So she said something stupid where she said she didn't like the post, but she did like the post. But either way, she's not anti-Semitic, and she don't agree with nobody who's anti-Semitic, and she don't agree with the post Jamie Foxx came out with. So they came after her after she liked the post because they were coming after Jamie, which means they were coming after her. And then Jamie apologized, and Jennifer Aniston pretty much left him out to dry. Here's what she said. She said, this really makes me sick. Oh, this is what she said. And this don't make no damn sense. She said, this really makes me sick. I did not like this post on purpose or by accident. What the hell does that mean? I did not like this post on purpose or by accident. How do you not like something on purpose or by accident? It's either one or the other.
I guess she was trying to say she didn't like it at all. She didn't like it on purpose, nor did she like it by accident, because she just didn't like the shit. It was not gonna tie her to liking it, because she didn't like it by accident with her finger. She didn't like it on purpose because she just didn't like the shit. It's like trying to make sure that it's like, no matter what y'all do, I didn't like it.
But she did though. It is a like button.
Yeah, I got you. She hit the like button. Yeah.
But what does that mean?
She was scrolling in her sleep. That's why she was scrolling in her sleep. But here's two things, right? The first thing is, have y'all seen the current legal definition of anti-Semitism? Like, you cannot say anything. In fact, you cannot even say the word UJ, which is why I say UJ, because that saying the word itself is considered anti-Semitism by definition, because the lawyering, boy. The second thing is that wasn't even as much of a concern to me, unfortunately, as this whole Larry Elder thing. Have y'all seen him on the Breakfast Club talking about racism?
I've seen him on there. I don't know if he had a recent one up there, but I haven't seen him recently.
Yeah, it's no such thing as racism.
Oh yeah, I've
systemic
seen
racism.
That, yeah.
That's where my head has been.
Okay. So if I were to say free Palestine.
Yeah, that part would be seen as anti-Semitic.
Well,
and you know
I think that it's a shame that that's a group of people that nobody can say anything about. It's like no matter what, even when something's not about them, they interject themselves to make it about them, and people come out and they gotta apologize about shit they didn't really say and mean and this and that. It's like there's such a protected group of people that you can't. They can't. You just cannot. And it's like, wow, for us to be treated so poorly at every time, to see the opposite, that you have this group of people that they're so protected that you can't even put your mouth on it, where you having to come out and apologize, it's wow.
We gotta
Jade here she said, what do you guys think the solution is?
We got to read the contracts that we sign with these people, because that's the reason we can't say nothing about them. We want to say it on we're not the distributors of our music. We're not the distributors of our movies. We don't own the platforms on which we speak. Even though the Breakfast Club is the most popular platform on iHeartRadio, Black people don't own it. Guess who does? Them people we can't talk about. They own it. Free Palestine. Again, free Palestine, and let the Ethiopian Jews and Israel. I digress. These people have mastered legal, like as you were saying about the lawyers. They care about the industries that actually make money off of the industries that make money. And that's where they have more power. We don't own it. We don't have the. And again, when things are legally binding, when they invented paper and started putting things down on papyrus, that became a way for man to say, I have supreme authority over everyone else because it's written down right here. It's a legally binding agreement. And what we have to do is sever our ties with that. Like, and that means not supporting your favorite rapper because your favorite rapper gets their check signed by Lucy and Grange, by Universal Music Group, by Leor Cohen. Names that we don't really know. They're not rapping. They're not all in the videos, all on the record, but they're making billions and billions of dollars because they made that large investment, that one time large investment into something that was pretty risky, but paid off for them in the long run. And we have to start doing that and empowering ourselves. Like it's time for the current the current celebrities, the current artists that we have. We don't have any leaders. We just have a whole bunch of influencers, a whole bunch of people for us to follow, but we don't have anyone that actually leads. We're looking for it in entertainers. We're looking for it in athletes. We're looking for it in people that we literally follow on social media, but those aren't the ones. Like it really starts at an individual level to answer Opulent Jade's question. It really has to start on an individual level. Empower yourself and empower the people around you. Empower, it starts with your community. Like there's so like we argue over which hood is the best, Atlanta, Harlem, Compton, and shit. Other races of people don't have those arguments because they want their communities to do well economically. They want their communities to do well in terms of education. They want their communities to be ranked among the healthiest, among the safest places to live in. But we just don't have those values. And that's because the people that we consider to be leading us are pumping negative images down our face. You want to be lit. You want to pop a Zanny and be out for 13 hours like Drake. You want to do whatever Cardi B is doing. Like you're just following salespeople. Again, just high-paid slaves that are meant to keep you jigaboing.
There's very little sense of self-preservation in a large majority of the Black community, unfortunately. And I think that sense of self-preservation is where it would begin. When you start to set goals for yourself and see that you can meet those goals, it's easier to set goals for your family. When you set goals for your family, you start meeting those goals, it's easier to convince a community to start setting goals for the community, and so on and so on and so on. And then you all are leading together. I think that one of the biggest myths that we have been given, and no disrespect to the leaders of old, right? But the leaders have always been taken out, and we have always been left with this feeling of, you know, no sense of direction. I think that because we have been convinced that we need this leader on this pedestal, we've been convinced that we can't do anything. I think people need to kind of shift away from that perspective of looking for a leader and seek within for the leader within and do what you can do. I like what you said. Start with yourself. You know what I mean?
Dizzle.
Well, it's a village thing. I think for one thing, to piggyback on what you were trying to say, what you're saying, we're looking for the next king to lead us out of here. When it's going to have to be a teamwork type of thing. You know, when Black Wall Street was happening, there was no face of Black Wall Street. It was people, and it was people who valued other people's businesses. We valued our own businesses. We didn't value others. And to answer Opulent Jade's question a little bit more, when people go and buy a team, or people go and buy VH1 or BET, they pool their resources together. There's no one owner. You know, we're always talking about the majority owner, but it's many people who own businesses. It's many people who own teams. They pool their resources together. Tyler Perry needs to team up with Magic. Magic needs to team up with Michael Jordan. Other people who are big, Oprah, who have billions or millions of dollars. Pool those resources together, and then you can own your own format. But we don't, because it seems like most of those people just want to like, okay, we'll pool our resources with white people, Latino, whatever. And as long as I'm majority owner, or I can become close to majority owner, and I can have my name on the front of a magazine, that's what mostly counts. So they're worried about themselves. They're not worried about their own people. While the other people are worried. I think the owners that just got the Charlotte Hornets or whatever, I think there's two majority owners, if I'm not mistaken. But Michael Jordan just sold the Charlotte Hornets. He was majority owner. You just sold it, whatever. Now, I think there was two people that pooled their resources together to buy the team. Now, we have no black majority owners in any of the major sports at all now. Michael Jordan was the only one.
Damn. Not even Nelly.
Together. I think Magic, I don't think he's majority owner of the
I know he is.
Washington team that they got now. I don't think he's majority owner. I know he has a good percentage of it now. But that's what happens. We don't pool our resources together. And we have more than enough to do that. But everyone wants to be a king of everything and just gets the credit for everything. Gets adored. I don't know the name of most of the football team owners. I don't, but I guarantee you that most of our people went to go try to own a team now. They make sure they put their name out there and make people worship them as the owner instead of helping bring people up all the way up. But no one does that now, or at all. Not in the last 4 to 5 decades or whatever. We're all about ourselves.
I agree. Although I will say I am happy to know that some of us do have some stake in these big businesses. I like that it's not that none of us have any type of ownership, whether it's a small or large percentage.
Yeah.
I think that narrative also needs to be pushed among people who think that we're not capable of owning anything.
Yeah, and I also understand, the what do you call it, the big boys, big rich boy club. They're going to try to keep you out too, but it's hard to keep out. They're going to answer the money. It's going to come back to money and finances in the end. If enough people pull enough money to pull together and they offer enough money, they're going to take that money. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they hate your guts and they hate your people. If you offer enough money, they're going to give it to you. But we don't come together when it comes to those things.
Nope. We're afraid, I feel like. Because it's
We
scary.
definitely
I
don't
get it.
come together. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Lord. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, you good. You good, Spark.
Go ahead, Spark.
I was just gonna say that we definitely don't come together, and a lot of times it's like as soon as we get something, we gotta either break away, or we don't even, like, a lot of times we don't live generations together in a house. So we won't live generations together in a house so that we can get our family to come up. As a community, it's like we have to be able to see the value in collaboration. We have to be able to see the value in collaboration and bartering and trading. And somebody might not have the most money to bring, but they might be the one that has the skill or has the know-how. You bring the money, I'm gonna bring the wits. You bring the this, you bring the that. We gonna come together like Voltron, and we're gonna do this. But a lot of times, most times, we don't do that. But that's what we need to do. We gotta come together. Like, we have got to come together. We are never gonna have anything. Our money doesn't stay in our community long enough. As soon as we get a dollar, we out there spending it with somebody else. We don't even spend it with each other. I'm saying we don't a lot of times make sure we got black doctors, black dentists, black this within ourselves. Like, in your everyday life, you shop with that's black. In your everyday life, where are you determined that your money is going to go to this area, or I'm going to go to somebody black for it first? You know, and with that, we got to make sure that our customer service and all of that stuff is up to par. We want people to frequent our businesses. We got to make sure, you know, that we're giving people their money's worth, customer service wise, and things like that too. People want to shop with us sometime, but people don't necessarily or want a subpar product. And sometimes we put things out and it's just like, because those are our people, that they should spend their money on it, whether it's, sometimes the best or not. But we definitely have got to collaborate. I make sure that I try to do my business with black people first. I try to find black people first to do business with. And then if there's a hole and there's not somebody that I can do business with, then I'll do business with somebody else. But I'm going to my black doctors, eye doctors, dentists, all that. And I will wait on my people. Even if I gotta wait to see them, I'm gonna wait. Because one, my body works different than other people's. My body doesn't work the same as everybody else's. So a black doctor might understand some of the things that I have going on a little bit better than somebody else. And so I try to do that. I try to give my people, the benefit of the doubt and deal with them first. But I don't have a problem collaborating with anybody. I'm open. I own several different businesses, several different things, and I'm trying to just start something else. And I don't mind collabing. Like, I don't mind. I'll do partial ownership with somebody so that I can get into the space, be in the space long enough, and then branch out, to do my own while I'm also staying in there collectively. I don't have a problem. I will, and everybody won't though. A lot of times people either think they want to steal their idea. Everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants to be the front person. And I'm kind of one of those that like to pay the background. I'm just about my bag. I don't really care who's in the front. You know, being the head person for getting it, as long as we splitting it on the back end, how it needs to be. And a lot of times we don't come together like that. We so scared that either somebody gonna do us wrong, or that things aren't gonna be right, that we just don't want to relinquish sometimes that control to be able to collaborate. But we've got to, if we really, really, really want to flourish and not just survive. We don't just want to try to survive and just exist out here. We want our people to enlarge our territory. We want to do better. We want to gain and grow. We're gonna have to come together. Oh man, there's an island. We've been trying to do this shit by ourselves for over 100 years. It's not happening. Like, we're gonna have to come together to make a bigger noise, to make a bigger splash, so that we can come up off the bottom.
Shout out to you, Sparky T, for that cooperative economics. I think that is admirable. And I do agree with you. A lot of people don't understand that it's okay for us all to do well together. You know what I mean? But there are
It's
two.
enough out here for all of us to eat.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's two things that you said. The first thing you said about black doctors. Not only is it a black doctor understands me, but historically we have been guinea pigs for others, outside of ourselves in the medical industry, right? And then the other thing you said, I do agree with that collective living as a people, going back to the village mentality with the living. I would strongly suggest though that as people, if we're going to do that, we should definitely involve some therapy because maybe it's just that there's some unhealed generational trauma that
Yes.
makes it hard to
Definitely.
live together as a collective. You know what I mean? Some unfixed things, some undiscussed stuff from Big Ma all the way down to Little Mama that I think it would be lucrative to involve some therapy in for that to be successful. But I agree that it can and should be done. I think there'd be more land ownership, there'd be more home ownership, there'd be more black owned businesses, there'd be more way paid for the future that's up and coming, and then they'd be able to see it and we could say that this actually works. So I appreciate you bringing that point up.
Dizzle.
I really think it's something we need to do. Like, I'm a realtor, and I sit here even when I, deal with my clients, and even watch the way sometimes that as a people we struggle with home ownership and different things, with, saving, with having businesses, with, knowing how to start our LLCs, just little things. Other thing, we need to start while we're younger. A lot of times we may not be taught the things, or some of the things, financial things like that, that we should be taught at the beginning. It's not till we get 18, 20, 25, we already get in trouble that we start learning these principles. If we start earlier, with our kids younger, then we might have a better chance, when they get older, that they're willing to do some collective things and different things like that. But I think that, that it's there. We got to keep doing it. We've got to be willing to buy the block back. We've got to own some things. We've got to own some things. And if we don't, it's it's gonna be even more bleak than it has been. It's crazy. I'm reading this book. I was looking around to see if I had the book next to me. It's a book on African, taking you back. It's about African principles. And in the book, they were talking about all these principles from African doctors, that when basically white people came over, how they misunderstood a lot of the things that they saw, how the game of chess is actually a medical diagnostic tool that they used to use in African, how the seesaw was a diagnostic tool that African doctors used to use in old. But when they got these things and the white man basically didn't know what to do, they just kind of got on the seesaw and played with it instead of using it for its natural intended purpose. It was like all these things in there, and I was like, wow. We just talked about how they looked at medicine holistically. They're not just looking at treating the symptoms; they're looking at the cause. They're looking at your soul. They're looking at all different kinds. They're looking at your eyes to see what's going on. How they using the whole body to treat you, and not just part of it. And how we basically taken the medicine of old and put computers and different things into it, and now we done got it all screwed up and out of whack for what it's really intended to be. And one also, how the diet and what we eat and is killing us, because our body is not made up like other races of people's body. And when you keep putting all the white things in it, the refined sugars, white breads, white potatoes, and rices, and all of that. It's killing us because our body isn't made the same. That if we just ate the way that our body was intended for us, melanated people, to eat, we would be so much better off. But we going with the masses a lot of times is not what we should be doing.
Yeah. At a certain point, we stopped thinking what the earth produced was good enough to consume, and we started settling for what man started producing. Like the foods, everything. You're exactly right. Everything we do, from the music we listen to down to the food we eat, we literally have to change that because there are things put in place. If you just turn the back of any snack, any microwavable meal over, there's going to be at least 7 or 8 words that you can't pronounce. And these are man-made chemicals that are purposefully put into this food, yes, to make it last a little bit longer. But you, in your conscious mind, your common sense mind, you know that apples are not supposed to last for 60 days. You're not supposed to be able to freeze a Salisbury steak and just heat that motherfucker up and eat it like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I do think the holistic way of living is something that we need to go back to. I'll take it even a step further. We got to sever that spiritual tie that we have to the white man's religion. Like we really have to, and like we always get back to it, we really have to go within all of ourselves, because the thing that stops us is that fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of I don't know this information. It's going to be a lot to figure out how to be financially stable, how to be a realtor, how to be a designer. It's going to take a lot to figure out how to start and operate a podcast. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just watch someone do it. I'm going to just consume that kind of content because that'll make it. We love living vicariously. That's like we literally gotten to a point in society where our convenience and partially our laziness and our trauma, as you were saying, our genetic trauma, because a lot of it comes from our Black parents wanting to protect us. They instill their fears into us. Don't you go out there and let them white people know you can read. So that already creates a stigma against our intelligence, against our wanting to know information. I was literally having a conversation with someone the other day, and they could not discern between a continent and a country. They didn't know that they thought Canada was not a part of they thought Canada was just a whole separate thing and not a part of North America. They didn't know the difference between North America and the United States of America. They didn't know that there were different countries within the continent of Asia. And their excuse was, I haven't been in school for some years, so I haven't had to learn nothing. You always have to learn something. If you were waking up and you were breathing, there is always something to be learned, especially if you're going to complain about the situation that you're in, especially if you're going to complain that there's injustices being done to you, your people, your community, or what. If you're just unhappy, if you're going to complain about your unhappiness, then you have to be willing to learn things. But people are afraid to go outside of what makes them comfortable. This isn't interesting to me, so I don't want to learn it. This isn't something I can show off on social media. This isn't something I can brag about to my friends, so I don't want to apply the time to it. But I will apply the time to going out and socializing, because at least emotionally, I feel like, everything is okay. We're very good at numbing ourselves. We're very good at accepting the distraction.
Well said. Well said. All right. We're going to wrap it up on this subject here. Miss Queen Sanaya has to log off. She has to go do some mommy duty. She got to go be a good mom. And she's going to sign off. But before she signs off, she's going to tell us one more time about where to find you and your name of your podcast.
Yeah. So the Just Live podcast featuring Queen Sanaa, that's me. And you'll hear music by Queen Sanaa. If you search Queen Sanaa on all streaming platforms, you can find my clothing at savvychicclothing.com. Thank you so much for having me, Big Red. I appreciated this discussion with you all. Look for me on YouTube. Look at my content on the little live tab, QS Queen Sanaa. Y'all go ahead and subscribe because, listen, I have a lot of good things to say. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. QS Queen Sanaa on YouTube. Y'all have a great evening.
Hey, you too. Make sure to go subscribe, people. Sunday, 3 p.m. YouTube. Check it out. Just Live, Queen Sanaa. Thank you for coming on.
Have a good night.
All right, guys. Now, it's a perfect segue to get into the next subject we're going to talk about. At least I think so.
I already know where you're going. These motherfuckers. Go ahead. All right.
Which story you think I'm about to go into?
I already know. Go ahead.
Actually,
Talk about this messy mother.
Actually, two stories I probably could go into. It's a segue from what we're talking about, but self-preservation could be used for both of them. I'm gonna go with. Let's see, what we got up here? Well, it might as well. It's in order. We're gonna go with the Kiki Palmer story first.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Yeah. So, LT, I don't know. You might be right, man. I don't know. If we're getting played, man, or we just really don't give a damn about families, man. To just give up this easy over a dispute. It's been reported that Darius Jackson, the side dude, I don't know what you want to call him, they have split up. Him and old girl Kiki have split up and gone their separate ways. I don't know if it's because of the video. I don't know if it's because of the past incident, but they've gone their separate ways. Kiki has just made a music video with Usher, pretty much addressing the issue with some sly remarks in there too. I'm gonna find a video. It's not. We're not playing the exact music video. It's just a video about the video.
Because we don't want Universal Music Group or whoever the fuck releases video taking this.
Yeah. You're right.
We don't want them folks taking down. And why do you look for that? I feel like they didn't break up. His contract is ended. He's a free agent now. He can go back to auditioning for boyfriend roles for other celebrities and shit. Darius Jackson sounds like a token black character name. Like on some real, like Darius Jackson is a black character on any Nickelodeon program and search here. Like that. Because now guess what Kiki Palmer gets to be? Now guess what she gets to sell to people? Single mother culture. Boom. Now guess what? We didn't hear nothing about their relationship while they were dating and the events leading up to her being pregnant. But now that they're broken up, I guarantee you we're about to hear about the ins and outs of their entire relationship. Every insert day here at insert time here. You can catch it. Kiki Palmer she is a child star. She has been a brand ambassador for literally damn it, probably most of her life. Like selling shit to us is literally what she does. And we're going to consume it because the single mother market is a profitable market. I don't know how ladies are able to do it with childcare and giving $6,000 to Beyonce, but goddamn it.
But see, what you're saying is a lot of people are going to look at this situation and like, yeah, I can do the same thing. Kiki Palmer's a millionaire, so she can get away with stuff like this. She can live and pay for child care and all this type of stuff or whatever. The average person should not follow her footsteps when it comes to this, but they will because they'll follow their favorite celebrities when it comes to situations like this. I'm going to play the video right quick, just talking about the incident, then we're going to get back and talk about how we feel about the story. Oops. I did the wrong thing.
I thought you're too old to be this messy. That's one of
Say that your boyfriend's looking for me. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, you should know I'm pretty easy to find. Just look for me wherever he sees you.
Kiki Palmer and Usher are turning lemons into lemonade in the singer's new music video, amid the drama with Kiki's estranged boyfriend, Darius Jackson. Come on, let's talk about it. Kiki is not exactly talking about it, but there's definitely a subtle dig.
I'm so tired. I'm a mother, after all.
Let's explain. It all started in July when Kiki attended Usher's Vegas residency show, dressed to the nines, and she even got serenaded on stage. The clip made its rounds online, and Darius, who welcomed a child with Kiki in February, wasn't feeling it. He blasted Kiki's wardrobe choice on social media, writing, "It's the outfit though, you a mom." Now Kiki has yet to address Darius's comments until now, doing things in her own way, starring in Usher's new music video called, Boyfriend.
Somebody say that your boyfriend's looking for me. that's cool, that's cool.
The visual follows Kiki getting ready for a night out in Vegas with her friends, while Usher preps for another night on stage.
They dreaming about me, oh, oh, but trying to be on your best behavior.
Listen, this is Vegas. If it has inspired you in any way, hopefully when you go back to your hotel room, if you don't end up pregnant, you know, by your boyfriend if you came, you definitely had an incredible time and was inspired.
There's even a dance break where both stars, dressed similarly, nail some slick choreography.
Spray my fragrance on your skin, it will remind you.
And she uses some clever language and a wink to call back to Darius's comment on Instagram.
I'm so tired. I'm a mother, after all.
Kiki and Darius have since unfollowed each other on Instagram and haven't posted any pictures together lately. But Kiki always keeps it positive.
It's true, it's true.
Over on Instagram, she praises Usher. You have been killing it all my life. As a true lover of the arts, your talent and craftsmanship are a rare combination that I aspire to achieve as a performer.
Somebody said that your boyfriend is looking for me, and that's cool, yeah.
Kiki adds, I know I'm a girl, but when I watched your videos, I never wanted to be the girl in them. I wanted to be you. Thank you for making a dream come true. Your girl is ready for the part.
I go wherever you go. I go wherever you go. I go wherever you go.
This is fucking sick. Where is the child at? Like, what the fuck? Didn't we?
I think it's a catchy
have
song,
herpes?
though. Yes, I thought so.
I feel like so. Whose people came up with this? Kiki's people or Usher's people? Because this is like a rebrand for both of them. Like this is
That's
weird.
why I said it's to stay relevant. That's why I said it's keeping him relevant. It's bringing him, you know, and not that he wasn't relevant, but it's making him more. I mean, you know, like you say, he's an older star. He ain't got no new, you know, he got what's going on in Vegas. They're saying it's a good show, but it's not. He got new albums out or nothing like that.
Yeah.
She got what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And they both just basically riding it. But if it wasn't being petty, I thought she did good in the video, which is crazy. She did good dancing. She did a good all of that. But and you just
It's the fact that she had to get pregnant. She had to find a whole actor to pretend to be her boyfriend or her sperm donor, because she never called this nigga. Like, again, this motherfucker Keke Palmer just popped up pregnant one day, then pulled a nigga out of her pregnant ass, and now we're supposed to praise the fact that she showed up to a Usher concert in Vegas half naked. We're supposed to, like, it's weird that we're in this, and the Usher is weird for this too, because my nigga, you about 50 or some shit. Why you not getting old with your art? Like, why you not growing with your music? Why you still trying to be messy?
I'm gonna give y'all your time right quick. Hold on, let me pop the timer up here. So the question basically is, do you think that Keke was being petty by doing the video with Usher, especially when we know it's pertaining to the situation that happened earlier a few months ago? Sparky T, I'll let you go first. Let me pop the timer up here, and you just tell us what you think. Do you think it was being petty, or you think, hey, it's just entertainment and just move on with life?
Ready? Go!
I think it was being petty, and I think it's just entertainment. Let's move on with life. Honestly, I think that she was being petty by making, you know, the video with Usher. Of course, after you just broke up with your boyfriend behind, or basically broke up with him behind him saying something about what you wore to an Usher concert, and then Usher makes a song called Boyfriend. Like, it just all happens like that. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that's crazy is that she wore all that, you know, revealing outfit and everything to the concert. She dressed like a little dude in the video, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's fully clothed, got on baggy pants. She almost looked like a old school Aaliyah, or how Aaliyah used to dress back, you know, in the, you know, with the baggy pants and the big, but all of that. You know, you went to the concert showing everything that you have. When you recorded the video, you know, and you playing the woman interest in the video, you know, fully clothed, damn near in man clothes. You know what I'm saying? Portraying yourself. I don't know. It's weird, but it's definitely petty. And I guess she can do it because she has money, you know. but they still got to think about everything that you do. Your kids gonna be grown one day, and they're gonna wonder why you did this, or they might wonder why. Well, then my daddy wasn't in my life because that's what you wore to the Usher concert. When it really, busts down to that, when the kid is grown. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have their own opinion. They're gonna have their own opinion about the way things were handled and stuff like that. And you are somebody's mom, you're not just representing yourself. Now you're representing your kid too. Your kid got to go to school one day. The kid has to live out in this world one day. Everything that you do right now is reflected on them. They can be coming back to pay for some of the stuff that you're doing now while you being funny, ka ka ka, he, with their daddy, and you really disrespecting their father too. So, a little bit low key. So it's gonna be interesting. A lot of times the way that we do things isn't the way that it always plays out in the end, especially when you're trying to be funny, you're trying to be petty like a lot of petty shit to come back and bite you in your ass. The things that make you cry, the shit that make you cry, make you laugh, and make shit that make you laugh and make you cry. I'm saying the things that you laughing about now, in the end can come back to be too much sometimes. And you'd be real regretful that that's the way you handle it.
And Greenfield said, well, it's similar to Usher. You don't have to call video.
Because people love nostalgia, and that was clickbait for the video. Because this,
I didn't even think about that, but that's a good point. Okay, LT. Now, what was the point you were saying, LT? Just right quick before I let you go with your 2 minutes.
Oh, I was answering old boy's question, or Andrew's question. Why did she have one? You don't have to call outfit, because that's a song about breaking up, or about ending a relationship and being okay, because you're gonna go out tonight with your fellas or your ladies.
I didn't catch that. Good catch on that. All right, LT, I'll let you go. You tell us what you think. Do you think this was being petty by Kiki, or it's just, business as usual?
Are you ready? Go!
I think when this whole shit started, Kiki Palmer was contractually obligated to make content out of this whole fucking. Like I said, from the get go, this Kiki Palmer has been selling us single motherhood not as soon as single motherhood became profitable. As I would probably start saying around the time that Kim Kardashian was getting rid of Kanye and his children's lives. Honestly, it goes way back. Like, it goes back to Fantasia singing about being a singing about all her baby mamas and shit. We've been we've been making this a cultural thing, and we've kind of been not taking the responsibility to acknowledge how this also fucks up our culture, because again, it is so profitable. Like, people want, or I could go so deep into the crumbles and how this is breaking down to the society, but to stay on Kiki Palmer, this was an orchestrated hit so that she could stay relevant. This was her trolling us. I don't think there was anything petty about this video. I think they actually took the time to make sure this video went viral. And I don't think it was petty, because I don't think it was her trying to be emotionally vindictive to her ex-boyfriend. I think this is just what was going to happen next in the series of events that her team, Usher's team, planned out for this shit to happen. This is literally just, this is just the development. The fact that it's coming to us from who the fuck is Darius Jackson? Who is he? I don't know this man. No one has a reason to care about him. And that's the perfect kind of person to just shit on. Someone that no one gives a fuck about anyway. And the only reason he's saying what he's saying publicly is probably because, niggas a part of that contract. We paid you for your baby seed, and we're going to pay you to do the baby now.
Okay. All right.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I think it was petty. I hope the discussion that they had, if they had a discussion after what happened, June or July, I hope they put in more time than she put in making this video. And I'm sure this video took some hours, took a day, maybe two, probably took like a couple days to make. And I hope they put that much time into time working on being together, and not a day or two. That's, relationships, you got to work on for the rest of your life, because you never get it fixed. It's never perfect. If they didn't try to go to any kind of therapy, they didn't try to, I don't know, just at least have a conversation with each other. He didn't try to see her point of view. She didn't try to see his point of view. Then that's a waste. Because like I said, it's a child, and here's back to talking about the community being separated and not having any value in our community. How easy is it to go your separate ways? We're not talking about a record player. We're not talking about a CD that you're splitting up over. We're talking about a human life. And to go this far to make a damn video about the situation, and as Sparky T was saying, it's in the stratosphere forever. The kid's gonna see this at some point. This may make the kid take sides. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to split the kid with the parents. You want the kid to love both parents. But unfortunately, that's how it is now. Parents take the side of either the mother or the father based on the actions that they take against each other. They're supposed to be together. They're supposed to be a team. We don't know what that is. And sadly, we were talking about pooling resources together. I guess Kiki and Usher pool resources together, and maybe they'll make a lot of money off of it, but that's not the person you were supposed to pool the resources with. It should have been with Darius Jackson, even though that's not her husband, quote unquote. That was her boyfriend. That still should have been the first person they should have pooled resources together with. And that's sad that it's just going to be another single couple or separate couple, and they'll have to raise their children in separate houses.
We pull our resources together, but only to sell things that harm our people to our people. Because as a woman, any woman, why would you champion this old ass man Usher, who is 15 years Keke Palmer Sr., coming in and ruining the relationship between her and the father of her child? Because also, if you're going to say, well, he had a problem with her outfit, and if your main takeaway is that she should have been allowed to wear whatever she wanted to wear, you do not deserve to be a mother. I'm just going to be honest, because that's where your values are. You don't want to be a mother. You want to still be seen. You want to still be sexy. You want to still be out here in these streets lusted upon. Your life is no longer yours. Not that it belongs to your husband, no, but it belongs to your child. It belongs to the life that you created with someone else. The fact that E! News was reporting on this in a way that it's like Keke Palmer is so good at spinning a negative into a positive. There's nothing positive about this. Because also from a female standpoint, from a woman's standpoint, y'all appreciate the fact that Usher is out here doing shit like this? Because he's not stepping in to be the stepfather. He's not stepping in to be in a relationship with Keke Palmer and take care of her now that she is a single mother. He's literally just the nigga that you fucked up a good thing for it. And I don't even know if he was a good thing, but it's purposely set up like that so it doesn't seem like he was ruining a good thing. Because again, there's no reason for this man to respond publicly on social media about her outfit to us. You saw her leave the house in the outfit. Why weren't you with her then? If you were worried about if you were really that pressed about Usher pressing up on her, you had to know where she was going in this outfit.
Maybe he was watching the baby. Maybe he was watching the baby.
No, he wasn't, because she's rich. Again, you don't have to sit at home and watch the baby. There is she has money for that.
He's to watch the baby.
Financial status is, but you have money for that. And if that's the case, both people need to be at home with this baby because it's a newborn baby and it needs to have an imprint from both their mother and their father. But one of their parents was out half naked at an Usher concert, and the other one was watching it at home and tweeting about it.
Maybe she said to him, hey, it's my money, so I don't need to buy a babysitter. You are the babysitter. You're the father.
Then you know what? Then he would say that. But you know what? Unless you're contractually obligated to not say that, I feel like that's what he would say.
Well, I've never heard. Well, going back to your earlier point, I've never heard him talk before besides this situation. So maybe he doesn't talk much on social media. I don't know. I've seen pictures and stuff.
This is not a speaking role for him. Like the way Hollywood is set up, the way the entertainment industry is set up, like the way they really just they pay people to be extras and background characters in movies and shit. They will definitely pay for people to make it seem as though we have been in a relationship for this amount of time. It's super real, super legitimate. So you should definitely go out and see me and support me in my new movie, so and so and so and so. Like she literally just she's riding a wave. Her and Usher are just riding this wave of relevancy, and it's all based upon the back of single motherhood, tearing apart a black family, and not needing a man. Meanwhile, the whole reason you're in this situation is because you wore an outfit to make yourself attractive to men.
It's sad. I agree. It's sad.
Why she couldn't have worn the outfit? Why couldn't she have worn the outfit so that she could feel good about herself? Or why couldn't she have worn the outfit so that she could feel empowered? You know what I'm saying? Why is it that she had to wear the outfit so that she could look good to men? She could have been trying to look good to women. But I'm just saying, why does it have to be that her purpose of wearing the outfit was to look good to men? She had just not too long ago had a baby, and so
My point
not too long.
exactly.
Huh?
That's my point exactly. She had just not too long ago had a baby. Why do you want to be out? And I get it. Maybe you need to feel as though, but that's what I'm saying. It still feels like even if the reason is because I just had a baby, I want to feel attractive. You're making yourself feel attractive by going out by yourself, not in the company of the person that you just created this baby with, and you're going out showing aspects of your body that this baby supposedly had an effect on. Because again, you did rap about your son giving you your fat ass. So who are you marketing yourself to with that kind of lyrical content? And it's a song, There Goes My Baby. You're slow winding with Usher. You're loving it. E! News referred to it as being serenaded. So it's like selling single women and single mothers. You can go out and still be fly and still be sexy and still get serenaded by Usher, even though you had that baby. When it's like, maybe why aren't you at home with the baby?
But that's I don't. But I guess what I was getting to say was what. But because when I asked the question about why does it have to be for the man, I don't think that part, as far as wearing what she wore, yeah, she shouldn't have wore it. You're somebody's mom, but it's not, to me, that ain't about single mothers or non-single mothers or whatever. That could be more about just empowering women, and that you can have a baby, but just because you have a baby don't mean that after you have the baby shit, you can be sexy while you're pregnant. I'm saying you don't have to be unpregnant to feel sexy. Think about it. Pregnant women take pictures all the time, stomach out. Everything's everywhere, and it's something that a lot of times people look at it. They hang it in their house. It's viewed as art. So why should she not still be able to feel sexy or whatever, have it all, because she's a mom now? Whether she's a mom with the dad there or whether you a mom doing it by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Motherhood is still what it is. And as women, we should still be able to be empowered and have it all, whether we have a child on our hip or not. And I
But what
think that
about the thoughts
sometimes
and
that's what
feelings of
she's
that child?
say. What about what?
The thoughts and feelings of that child.
Well, I mean, but the thoughts and the feelings of the child, when a kid is a baby, you're not thinking about the thoughts and the feeling of your child. You're supposed to be doing what's best for them. And then usually in that, you're not thinking, well, how does my little baby feel about what I'm getting ready to tell them this? And you do have a collective group of people that parent like that. Well, now you're gonna hurt little Johnny's feelings. And well, now don't do that. And you do have a group of people that do that. But that's, I don't think, is the masses. Most parents, you have a baby and you're making the decisions. God made you a steward over that child's life. He made you to be the executive decision maker in that child's life until they're of said age. And as that, you should be trying to be your kid's parent, not trying to be their friend that you worried about their feelings and all that type of shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I got kids, I'm more worried about being a mama than being their friend. They're not going to like everything that I say. You know what I'm saying? And I got grown kids now. They're not going to like everything that I say. That's okay. It's not my job for them to like everything that I say. It's their job. It's my job, for me to steer them in the right direction. It's my job to teach them the things that's supposed to be implemented to them, whether they like that shit or not. Yeah, I don't care if they like me as their, as their parent, or as their friend. I don't really care about their feelings like that. So, I don't parent from a place of, well, what about the kids' feelings? Because that's not the most important, thing at that point, especially
I
when
think
it's a
it's very
baby.
important when it comes to how the parent is representing themselves, especially on a national and this way, a global scale. That's like your mother is
I got
half naked on TV dancing with a man that is not your father. How do
I got a
you
question.
as a child, like we don't think about because the baby is a baby, the baby is going to become a child. The
Yeah,
child is
just like I had said earlier, everything that you do is out there in the thing. So I agree with you to that extent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I said I got grown kids. I'm not out nowhere half naked and nothing. That's just not me as a person. I respect me more than that. And I damn sure respect my sons more than that. You know what I'm saying? I had sons that played football and this and this and this and that. I would never have fathomed going to anything, any function around anywhere with anything hanging out like that. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't, because I have more respect for me. I also know kids. I know me. You say something to my son about me, he gonna kick your ass. So why am I gonna put him in that predicament where he out here about to be having to beat people down because of what I'm wearing? Come on now, you gotta have some respect for yourself, and a lot of times people don't. People just don't. You know what I'm saying? And I
Okay.
get that people can wear whatever they want to wear and all of that, because a lot of times when you say that, you're not the popular person. As you talking against women's right to wear whatever and all that. And I'm not talking against nobody's right to wear whatever. You can wear whatever you want to, but know that what you wear still affects how people deal with you and how they see you. It might not, it maybe shouldn't, but it does. It
Okay.
does.
I
You
got a
know.
question. When you're done, Spark, I got a question.
Nah, you good. Go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna ask. Okay. So dressing sexy. And LT you can answer it too. How does dressing sexy empower a woman?
mm,
I don't really think that I don't think that it empowers them like how the way that people try to make it seem. I think it's a thing in the freedom. You can wear what you want to wear. And sometimes I think it's about somebody not being able to control you or tell you what to wear. But what do I think, is empowering about you walking around with your ass and your titties hanging out? I don't think that there's a whole bunch empowering about that. I think you need to leave something to the imagination. I think that you need to have some respect for your damn self, put some damn clothes on. You know what I'm saying? And let somebody dream about what you have underneath of there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not the popular person a lot of times for saying that, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I was a foster mom. I had, foster daughters, stepdaughters, all that. And there were certain guidelines that I had in the way that they could dress and could not dress. You're not about to be out here like that. You're not. You're not. And I don't. Sometimes I don't see the purpose in it. But to each his own. Like I said, you would never see me dressed in any particular way, but I was raised to have the utmost respect for myself. I just was. My mom wasn't having it. My mom don't dress like that. I was raised by a mom that don't even wear makeup and none of that kind of stuff. She put on some lip gloss. She doing something, and so I was raised by a mom. I never saw a woman wear weave. My mom or nothing like that. None of that. So I have a little bit conservative on those type things, but
Well,
I
what
don't see it.
I think about it is a lot of times when we do talk about things like um, women being able to wear what they want, or sometimes it sounds like do what you want. It's lawlessness, and I think there is a weakness in not having any laws or any um, resolve about what you do out there. Like you shouldn't want to sleep with just. I'm not talking about Kiki in particular. I'm just talking about people in general. You shouldn't want to just sleep around with anybody because there are consequences that come with that. And I think that really empowers you to have self-preservation for yourself when you have certain boundaries that you will hold against yourself. You shouldn't want to try every drug there is out there and just be free and do whatever because that can destroy your life. You shouldn't want to eat every bad food in the world because that can destroy your diet, destroy your body, and that there's I would say it would be better sometimes to have boundaries in a lot of things that people do in life, and even how you dress. You can go out and just be half naked out there, A woman can go out there and be half naked and just have her titties shown or have the lower half shown, whatever. I don't think that's going to be freedom because that's going to draw eyes and that's probably going to get you in trouble. Now, in a perfect world, yeah, I guess it would be nice if everybody could walk out naked and just do what they want, but we know this is not how the world works. Darius Jackson, he could have been thinking about that type of thing where certain guys, not just Usher, certain guys are going to look at her a certain way, and that could lead to getting her in trouble. And I know most women are going to be like, well, the men need to control themselves. Well, everybody doesn't have self control. Every guy in the world isn't nice. That's why we have laws put into place. That's why we have prisons put into place because everybody doesn't have self control. And even with women, with certain things, women don't always have self control with certain things. That's why we have rules and regulations. That's why we keep cigarettes behind the counter at gas stations, why we keep certain illegal drugs behind the counter and doctor's offices because everybody doesn't have self control. Sometimes when people just talk about, having valid not validation, being able to have power over themselves by being able to wear certain things, I don't know if that's it's power or it's weakness because it can put you in certain predicaments that can actually harm you better than actually empower you.
Honestly, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. I was literally just about to say that. I think it's a false narrative being pushed by the quote unquote liberal feminist movement that, that sexual liberation is a part of empowerment because it just, as you were just saying, it puts you in positions to where your power can be taken away from you, to where someone may look to overpower you to get what you're putting on display. And as we know, the highest number of people that are sexually trafficked are Black women. The highest number of women that go missing are Black women. The highest number of people or women that do not get found after they get abducted is Black women. And when something of a sexual nature happens to a Black woman, it just makes it easier for the world to say, well, she was probably a prostitute. This is the way that she dressed. Just like if a Black person got shot, they would go through his social media to see if he was wearing hoodies, or a Black man. They would go through his social media to see if he was wearing hoodies, throwing up gang signs, wearing any bandanas. There's a way that we dress as men that signifies to the rest of the world that they don't need to care about us. And there's a way that women dress that signifies to the rest of the world that they are to not be respected. I don't know if I would necessarily call it weakness, but I do think it's coming from a place of, you're seeking validation for something. Because again, I'm in a relationship. If I want to feel good or feel attractive, that's going to come from the person that I find the most attractive. That's going to come from the person that I go to for my emotional validation. I can only imagine that would be amplified if I actually love them and if I have a child with them. I wouldn't need validation from the rest of the world. Like, I imagine if Keke Palmer's boyfriend or whatever the fuck went out to a fucking Rihanna concert or to a Beyonce concert shirtless and let Megan Thee Stallion twerk on him or some shit. The consensus would be, oh my God, how could you do this? You are someone's boyfriend. You are someone's father. Why would you let this person do this to you? And it's only because we are in this portion of society where we don't value the feminine or we don't value the masculine principles that are needed for raising our children, because we haven't seen them for a long time. And the ones that we do see kind of suck. And that's word to Boosie and Dwayne Wade. And honestly, think about that. The only father that we actually praise, quote unquote, is Dwayne Wade because he accepts his daughter. He accepts the agenda that is being pushed onto the rest of our kids.
Most of the time, masculine protection is seen as control.
But
so we just shy away from it now.
That's the thing, that only our Black men have never been in control. So when we start talking about masculinity or toxic masculinity and that being in control of things, make no mistake, that does not stimulate from Black men. Because if anything, we're in a situation where Black men aren't being as masculine as we need to be. Because if he was being in his 100% divine masculine, I'm sorry to say, his woman wouldn't have left the house half naked going to an Usher concert. And if you're gonna be half naked, I'm gonna be with you. The fuck? And you're not about to be front row center for Usher to see you half naked and get up on you. And you can call that insecure. You can call that being controlling. You can call that whatever you want. But those are the boundaries that I have for me as a romantic partner. I don't want to be with someone that feels as though, in order for me to feel attractive, I have to be seen by the rest of the world damn near naked, especially after I just gave birth to our child. I don't want to be with someone that I have to address via social media about some shit that shouldn't have even left our home. And that's okay to have that boundary. It's like we get sold the illusion of having to choose between the narrative that gets that gets presented to us. Was Kiki wrong? Was he wrong? The shit was made up any fucking way. They both wrong because they're both trying to sell us on the fact that we don't need each other. And there's an innocent child's life in the balance that is now going to be pretty much just a tool that his mother uses to sell herself, and probably disconnected from his spot. Like, I think this was a test tube baby. I'm gonna be honest. Like, we had all this shit to say about Beyonce and Jay-Z when they had Blue. We thought it was a test tube baby. We thought that was a fake baby. And these motherfuckers was actually married and went about it the right way. We not questioning anything with this Kiki Palmer baby. Did she name, what the fuck is this baby's name? This white baby?
Michael Jackson and Debbie Rowe.
I hate those. I don't know those kids. Those are not Michael Jackson's kids. R.I.P. to Michael Jackson. Those are not his fucking children. I never accepted them. I've never seen Blanket moonwalk a day in my fucking life.
I don't know what Blanket looked like. I couldn't pick him out of life. I know what Paris looks like.
They all look white. Okay, they all have long brown hair.
Well, don't they all got white mamas?
Yeah, it's by one mom, I think. Debbie Rowe. I think they're all by the same person.
And if not,
So I'm saying if they got a white mom, then it's not hard to believe that they would be fair skinned.
Yeah, but they don't look mixed.
Not like
white children.
You know what I'm saying?
That one girl, the daughter used to look mixed. I think that they try to play up the whiteness in her. You know, kind of like how when Halle Berry first came out, she played in Boomerang and all the black movies. She had a black haircut and all that. And then when she got a little stuff, her hair, she started coming out with her hair wet and wavy. And then we found out she had a white mama and she ain't look so black no more. They started playing up her whiteness. You know, they start messing with a lot of times the hue of the makeup or the color of the hair or what play up those features that look white. So, they closer and closer and closer to passing.
The first time I saw his children, honestly, was at his funeral. And that was a little white girl talk. She looked like goddamn Jane Brady.
You seen that little boy? Remember when he held the little boy over the banister or whatever?
Yeah,
you had already seen him. He was still alive then. Huh?
Yeah. He had that blanket over his face. I couldn't see his face.
Yeah, he had white feet though. And more white feet was dangling or whatever. And remember something came out then about their mom. So I could see them being fair skinned.
I was watching that episode of South Park the other day too. So that's what got me thinking about it. Being ignorant.
All right. We're gonna move to the next one then. Next subject. Michael Orr. The movie The Blind Side. I remember watching this movie and I was like, damn, another one of the Savior movies.
White Savior movies.
Yeah. What was that movie with old girl that was a teacher?
Oh, fucking Dangerous Minds?
No, one after that.
Fucking goddamn. They did the Prim's Hood Cinema.
He played in Boys Don't Cry or Big Boys Don't Cry.
I don't remember that. I was
$1 Million Baby.
Oh, I ain't never heard.
She was a $1 Million Baby with Clint Eastwood. Morgan
Jennifer, ain't it Jennifer something? Wait a minute. Yeah, $1 Million Baby. It was
Was the movie Freedom Riders?
I don't even remember Denzel and Journey.
No, it was Morgan Freeman in $1 Million Baby.
Morgan Freeman was a $1 Million Baby. Yeah, he was like he was a trainer. She was the boxer.
I'm about to get her name because I got her pulled up.
Right.
Hilary Swank. Freedom Riders.
Hillary Swank. I would have never guessed that shit.
Yeah, swanky deal. But I don't know why I even kind of mentioned that one. But Sandra Bullock. Yeah, she was in Blindside. She played the mother that brought this kid in. The kid admittedly had a rough lifestyle. 15 years old, mom was strung out on drugs, and she would lock him out the house at days at a time. Him and I think his other brothers and sisters had nowhere to go, had no direction. And according to the movie, he was found by these parents, or at least the mother, whatever, played by Sandra Bullock, who won an Academy Award for it. Now people are talking about should she have the award taken back. I'm like, nah. It's based off her acting, not based on the truthness of the story. A lot of stories out there that are not true, and people won awards for it. They take a license with it, with every movie that's put out there about somebody's life. People take licenses. So no, I think she'd keep it. But the subject of the matter, Michael Oher says a lot of that movie was a lie. He said he is 37, I think now. I don't know. I'm going to talk about it. I don't know who really to believe. I don't know if there's some half truths on both sides. But he, saying he just found out he was in a conservatorship. I'm saying it right, where his mother, or not his mother. I'm sorry, I say his mother. The woman who took him into the household made him sign a contract where she would handle all his affairs, his business affairs, how he got in college, how he got in the NFL, how to divvy up the money. And he's saying they got a lot of money paid to them based off the revenue from the Blind Side. The father, the mother, and even the kids got a chunk of the change. He didn't get anything. And that's the movie is about him. He's the one that went through all the struggle. It's also upset the movie because the movie made him look so dumb, which I also thought too. I'm like, I bet you he's not anything like this, but this is how they're gonna make a big black guy gonna look in the movie. And he plays football. He's notorious to know that players are big and play football and not supposed to be smart. So I thought that when I saw the movie, I think it was 2009 or so when it came out. I thought that too. I was like, yeah, they'd probably take a free lick with this movie. But he did an interview about it, and he's trying to sue to get lost revenue that he thought he should have gotten, and he did. He definitely should have gotten. He should have got a majority, the most of the money that came from the movie. He played in the NFL, I think, about 8 years, which is more than the average. I think the average career is about 3 years. So I'm gonna play a clip right quick. It's talking about what happened with it. I'm actually gonna play 2 clips because the son responded. And I don't know, something don't feel right about when the son starts talking about it. Son feels like
the family.
Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't caught up to speed to how they should talk about the story, and he looks foolish to me when they start talking about it. Let me play it right quick. Let me play the first one.
Player immortalized in the feel-good Oscar-winning film The Blind Side is now alleging a key part of that story was a lie. The story gained national attention after Michael Oher was taken in by a well-off white family in Mississippi while in high school. But yesterday, he filed a 14-page petition in a Tennessee court alleging the Toohey family never adopted him. Instead, the 37-year-old argues he was tricked into agreeing to a conservatorship. Errol Barnett has more.
For former NFL player Michael Oher, the truth blindsided him when he says he learned his family was not legally his own. In a lawsuit filed in Tennessee Monday, Oher alleges that when he was 18, he was tricked into signing legal papers as part of the adoption process. Last February, he says he learned they were conservatorship papers, granting Leanne Toohey and Sean Toohey guardianship, which means, quote, ultimate control of all his contracts, while providing him no familial relationship with the Tooheys. But now Oher is suing to end the conservatorship, bar the Tooheys from using his name and likeness, and what he says is a share of the money they earned from his story.
We want to know if you would like to become part of this family.
Kind of thought I already was.
Oher's remarkable tale was portrayed in the hit Oscar-winning movie The Blind Side.
You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me.
The then teen, who had an unstable home life, was taken in by Leanne Toohey, played by Sandra Bullock, and her family before starring in college football and the NFL. The film earning more than $300 million. But the petition states Orr received no compensation for the film, quote, that would not have existed without him. Meanwhile, the Tooheys and their children allegedly received hundreds of thousands of dollars. Orr has long questioned his portrayal in the film.
I think it took away the hard work and the dedication that I created from a child, and going to school in the 3rd grade, getting myself up. First one in the locker room, last one out. And I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed, not being able to read or write.
The Tooheys have continued to publicly refer to Orr as their adopted son. Attorney and conservatorship expert Christopher Melcher.
In these conservatorship abuse cases, there's a position of trust where one adult gives over this power to the other adult, believing that they have their best interests at heart, or not even understanding what they're signing. He was an adult at that time. There's no reason for him to have to surrender those rights.
Now, CBS News has reached out to the Toohey family. We've not yet heard back, but Sean Toohey told the Daily Memphian newspaper that the allegations are, quote, insulting. He says the family didn't make much money off the movie and that the family is devastated by this lawsuit. He also added that he would end the conservatorship if that's what Orr wants. And we should say, Michael said in a statement, quote, I will let the lawsuit speak for itself and will offer no further comment. But a real surprise here.
It does sound like, Earl, he wants a conservatorship to end. And I'm just so sad at this turn of events. Number one, I love the movie. Mainly, I love Sandra Bullock, so I love everything that she does. But to think that he didn't get Michael, seen many interviews with him, that he didn't get anything from the movie is very surprising to me.
It is surprising, quite shocking.
Yeah.
No doubt, a lot to unpack. And maybe I'll reach out to Michael for an interview. I'd love to sit down with him. Errol, thank you.
Looking at this article now, so it says it might have August 17th. So today, Sean and Leanne Toohey, if I'm saying the name right, intend to end their conservatorship for Michael Orr. Lawyers for the couple said during a news conference Wednesday, Orr filed a petition with Shelby County, Tennessee Probate Court Monday to end the conservatorship, which he claims the Tooheys deceived him into signing, saying they were legally adopting him. Let's see, and he signed this, I think it said, 3 months after his 18th birthday in 2004, August. Legal experts have said there is no basis for the conservatorship to exist. I would think for someone to have to sign that would be like someone who's crazy, mentally incapable of handling business dealings like this, like Britney Spears, who we heard a lot about in the last year or so. And I don't know, she might need to go back into that signing because she seems like she's still not of the right mind. And this guy clearly has intelligence, clearly can read and write. He's not mentally incapable of reading his contracts. The only question I have is, I don't know, unless he was this trusting of this family, why did he wait this long? Or did he just not know since 2004 that they had this deal into play? I mean, 2004, it's 20 years almost. And he's just now speaking up about it at 37? Seems like a long time to say anything about it.
Because he probably went to make a move or do something and found out that he couldn't because they had the right to make all of the decisions for him. Because they said that when they signed the conservatorship, first they made him think that it was adoption papers. But he couldn't be adopted because he was 18, so he already couldn't be legally adopted. They claimed that they had him sign the conservatorship so that he didn't get in trouble with the NCAA, so that way he would have eligibility at Ole Miss, is why they claimed that they had him sign the conservatorship. But the conservatorship was originally, it said he was 25 years old or until it was dissolved. Mm-hmm. But the fact that the conservatorship is still in place, see, my thing that I thought about, it was like kind of like a car warranty. You know how you get 3,000 miles or, three months or 3,000 miles, whichever is, some things that whichever is the greater, some things that whichever happens first. So where they had a term in there that is till 25 or when it's been dissolved, why wouldn't the conservatorship have automatically been dissolved at the age of 25? Like, right. Why at the age of 25 wouldn't they have had to go back before a judge? Because only a judge can give them the conservatorship. So why should at the age of 25 they not have had to go back before a judge for a judge to revisit it to see if it needed to be extended or if it would automatically be resolved at that age? But they said that they got $225,000 apiece. So the mother, the father, and each of the children got $225,000 from the movie and 2.5% of the net proceeds from the movie. So they got paid hell a lot of money. That's like $900,000 before you get a percentage of the 320 million that it did.
Did do a lot of money.
According to what I've read, they were rich before.
They were rich. They were rich before. But even if you were rich before, to still get paid $900,000 for a movie that wasn't. It was partially about your family, but it was really supposed to be about him.
Yeah. He should have got him, the main basis of
I think it's the stigma that he feels with it too. It's like, I don't want to answer. I don't know why he waited so long. I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the inner workings of conservatorship. But I know if Britney Spears was able to be either manipulated mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the fuck, by the people that she trusted the most, which were her blood parents, into a conservatorship. Like, why would one need to enter into that with their blood child? I don't fucking know.
Oh, she's crazy though. I mean, I can see her.
But you know why your child is crazy? Because you've been pushing her on Star Search and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and down the throats of America for literally since she was like 6 years old. Like a child needs a childhood, and people like Britney Spears, like Michael Jackson, didn't have one. And with this Michael Orr situation, the only thing I can honestly say about it is this is why it's important to, I mean, again, I don't, being that he said he could read and write, there has to be a level of emotional manipulation that got him to, even at an 18-year-old, and there's not much that you know at 18, but I can automatically assume he probably didn't want to sit down and read a full contract. He probably didn't have the representation to have them look over the contract form, because guess what? The people that are, your providers are also the ones getting you to sign this contract and enter into it. So why it's only becoming a topic of discussion now that he's 37, I don't fucking know. But there's definitely some foul play at work, because this man has, it's so sad. Yeah, this is his story. And if he literally is saying that he's received no payment for his story, it's just a greater echoing of, you don't even own the rights to your own life if a piece of paper says that other people do.
And maybe it was because of that trusting factor, because, hey, they say they saved him, or they took him off the street, or took him from a bad situation. And he was like, it's almost like having an agent. Maybe he viewed him as their agent, his agent, and he was like, I trust them to do good things for me.
Save you from poverty. So you're probably thinking, what reason would they have to hurt me or take advantage of me? They've literally given me everything.
Right. So why would they steal from me? And
I'm sure he didn't have representation either, as far as because think about it, they were trying to do it all under the table. They were trying to do it all underhand, because they were trying to get him to be eligible at Ole Miss, and that he was a member of their family, and that basically he resided with them. They weren't trying to tip off the NCAA. So, to have somebody else, another independent lawyer, read over or whatever on his behalf is only having one more person in the pot when you already trying to kind of do something underhand.
See, looking at this thing, was talking about this lawyer speaking on the context of how conservatorship is used. It's used to help somebody who lacks the capacity for medical or mental reasons to manage their own affairs. Most states, there are conservatorships over one's physical person or the management of the person. And then you can also have a conservatorship over finances. So I guess that's another one. In other words, a person lacks the capacity to enter into contracts or business arrangements on their own behalf. And so they would be unable to do so without the perfect permission of the conservator. So I don't know that again. I mean,
You would kind of have to convince someone that they're not capable.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Managing their self.
Yeah, and think about it. They went before a judge. They went before a judge. A judge is the only person that can grant a conservatorship. Yeah, he had to sign something, but they still had to go before a judge for the judge to grant it.
Yeah, but I'm only saying,
Yeah, like
if he did that when he was 19, 21,
18.
22. No, I'm saying I don't know if you have to keep going back and re-sign it. And like,
No,
okay, I give
no,
you
you
5 more
don't go
years.
back and re-sign it. No, once they put it in, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think all of them are the same. But his stated that it was going to be in effect till he was 25, or until they dissolved it. And so that's why I was saying my question would come into play with, well, why didn't it automatically dissolve when he was 25?
Okay.
You know,
Is that the number?
That's why that was my question, huh?
Okay. Is that one of the magic numbers for, I don't know?
No, that's what was in his. No. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's what was in his, because it's almost like it's like a trustee. You know, like you get people that get SSI and they can't, do their own funds, so they come in the name of the trustee. The trustee divvies out all the money, has to keep all the receipts for everything that they've spent, because they audit you at the end of the year. You have to prove what you did with this person's money for that whole year.
Okay.
The only thing I can
So
think
it's like that same thing. Huh? I'm sorry.
The only thing I can think of is they went back to Michael Orr and his legal guardians came back together at the age of either 24 or 25, and they came to agreement to extend this thing. Because what you said,
but they didn't. That's what they saying. But they didn't. That's what they saying. Because they did not though. And so that's my thing, is the fact that they didn't have to extend it. What made it just stay in play, this long? And that's why I said he had to have tried to probably go and do something. He probably had to try to go make a business decision, either go put some bread out the bank, something he tried to go and do. And when he tried to go and do it, they basically told him he couldn't. And not they being the Tuies, like whoever he was trying to do business with was probably basically like, we can't give that money to you. We have to call Miss Tui and find out. Or we can't do this or we can't do that. Because with them having conservatorship, they had the right over everything, like to determine what he was going to do with his contracts, and all of that had to run through them. Like when you look at what you get when you're somebody's conservator, I mean, it's like you got the right to tell them what religious beliefs they have and different things. It goes real deep. So that's what I'm saying, that he
in 2011. The movie came out the conservatorship would have ended in 2011 because that's when he turned 25. The movie came out while he was under their conservatorship. It came out in 2009.
Yeah, that's why he didn't know that he didn't get no money for it at the beginning, because they were handling all of his stuff. They were handling all of his contracts. They were signing everything for him. Basically they made the movie deal, and made the terms and stuff for it. They basically, it's almost like where with the things that they did was forthright or for themselves. You know how when like a notary can't notarize a deal that is going to affect them? It's like, because it's a conflict of interest. How are you going to be able to be unbiased or be that strong person if everything that you're doing is you're gaining from it? You're not really making decisions probably off of that person's best interest. Some of it gets to where you are looking at how it's affecting you too, and that's not how you're supposed to do. If you're being a conservator, you're supposed to be a neutral party. It's almost like a guardian ad litem for a kid that's underage. It's a person that's supposed to act on their behalf and act on their best interest and make sure that everything is happening on their best interest, because they can't do it for themselves. So they had to show some type of deficiency, whether it was emotional, mental, whatever. They would have had to show something to be able to get it, and think about it. Michael wasn't kicking against it at the beginning because he thought he was signing damn adoption papers. They put it to him in such a way, because that's what he said. He literally thought that, because one thing that I read, they said that because he was 18, it was put to him that he had to sign the adoption papers because he was 18 now. Like his parents didn't have, parental rights, so they didn't have to sign the papers away. Because he was 18, he had to sign, is what he was told. So he didn't think anything funny that he was signing papers for these people to adopt him. He was just believing everything that the people said. They had been so good to him that his antennas didn't go up. He had no reason to think that they were doing anything wrong. He was just so damn trusting.
I just can't even see that for my own parents though. Just to go to almost 20 years where I wouldn't, the money he made, and I think he made about 30 million in the NFL, and I would think at some point I'm going to try to make a business decision on my own, open up something, do something with my money, and then I have to keep asking you, can I use my money? Can I use this money to build this business up? I feel like it's what it came up at some point during the almost 20 years after he went into the NFL.
Yeah, either he not paying attention to it, he don't have the people on his team that help him pay attention to it.
They were his team. But think about it, they were his team. You know what I'm saying? What they probably did is they probably gave his ass an allowance. He probably had such a big allowance or such big access to money that he could spend. He never questioned the fact why he couldn't do whatever. That's why I said it had to be that he tried to make some kind of transaction or do something, and somebody told him no, or that he couldn't, or that it had to go through them. And that's what threw his antennas up like that. They probably had him on such a big stipend or living situation that he never thought anything about, who was in control of his money, because he always had basically everything that he needed or whatever. It wasn't until, he couldn't do what he wanted to do for something that it made him start questioning, what you mean, bro? What you mean? How I don't have, and he started asking questions.
Did you hear anything about they got any of his NFL money? I haven't heard nobody say they got any of his NFL money, which I imagine they probably had to sign the contract too.
Yeah, that's why I said they said that they had control over those contracts and everything. I haven't heard anything say that they got the money, but it said like literally they had control over all of that, like who he was going to, all of that. That's why I was like, damn. So they had control over who he was going to sign with, all of that. Like I said, they have been so good to him.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Huh? No, you go ahead.
I think it's also the fact that they set up for their children to receive payment from this movie, that they had nothing to do with. Like the children were involved in the creative process of this movie, and the fact that they were entitled to something to it, but he wasn't. I feel like there's an emotional component that's going along with it, that they either had to string this man along for years and make him feel like that. Oh, we're on your side, Michael. We're taking care of this for you, and we haven't gotten anything either. Like there's a great lie being told. Like I don't know exactly what's been kept from this man, but it's definitely been people that he thought he could trust being untrustworthy. Simply put, like you never think that's going to happen to people that have literally given you everything. Like if you have everything that you think you need, you're not going to wonder what you don't have. And I feel like he maybe got tired of people thinking he was stupid in high school, got tired of people thinking he couldn't read. He probably tried to do something. He probably tried to do something with his story himself, maybe retell his own story, and figured out, actually, you're going to have to talk to the people who own this. You're going to have to, you don't own your story anymore. That belongs to.
Right.
But it's like, well, my family.
It could be something as simple as he tried to get into the cannabis business or something like that. Something that they didn't agree with. Something that they weren't on the same page with him with. So it caused somewhere in there, it caused a rift where somebody had to tell him no about something. Because it made him start finally questioning what is really going on with my affairs. Why can't I do this? Whatever it was he wanted to do, it had to make him question, why is it that I can't do this? Or why is it that I have to ask them? Or what you mean they my conservators? What does that mean?
And he probably got to run around for years. Oh, Michael, I don't know what you're talking about. You got to ask this person. Go ask that person. Oh, Michael, you got to go ask these people. I don't know what you're talking about.
He might have got to run around for a couple months, because I think they said that he said he didn't. He just found out. Something that they said that like he just found out that he was in a conservatorship. Like he thought that all this time that he had been adopted by these people. So So it ain't even a long time
That's
runaround. I
what I'm
think
confused
once
about.
he's
That's what I'm
that's what I'm
confused
saying.
about.
Once he started asking questions, it's almost like as soon as he asked, he instantly found out that he was in the conservatorship. It's just like almost at the beginning, how people be like, "You ain't asking the right questions." You know what I'm saying? Where nobody wanted to just be like, "Well, no, they didn't adopt you. They did this." But he kept probably trying to ask and ask and ask, and somebody was just like, "You ain't asking the right question." But when he finally asked, "Well, why can't I this or why can't I that?" That paper came out. You sign this paper back on this date that turns your, your decision making rights over to the 2 weeks for and all the stipulations and stuff probably started coming out.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
what
when
I'm
he
saying.
was like,
If he thought he was adopted, I mean, at what point does control from the parents that adopted you ends? I figure that happens once you become a. I figure you couldn't even control your adopted kids when they turn 18. I'm not sure.
but think about it, he didn't get adopted till he was 18 though. So you went into this
But that's what I'm
situation.
confused about. You can adopt at 18. That's what I'm
No, you
confused.
can't.
Okay.
That's the thing. No, you cannot. That's why they had to get it. That's why it had to be a conservatorship. You can't
Yeah,
adopt nobody when you're 18. It's
right. I
when you
get that. I get
well,
that. What I'm saying
but hold on.
is,
Something I was seeing on a show just recently where
what's that?
one of them shows, kind of like my, the 90 Day Fiance or one of the shows that comes on TLC, where grown people were getting adopted by families.
Feel like I feel
Because it was
familiar.
this whole thing. It was this whole thing about her biological family, and then these people that wanted to, like, they had taken her on since she was grown and pregnant. And like it was like these whole situations, and the one husband and wife were basically falling out because the husband wanted to almost adopt this girl and provide support to her, but she was grown. She was grown and here from another country. So, but that gets a little funny, when after somebody's 18, they usually do their own, their own stuff. Like even when I did foster care, you only do foster care until they're 18. But if they need foster care after 18, you can still provide services. It's just called extended foster care because some of the rules and regulations change because now you're dealing with a person that's an adult, but clearly still needs care. All that, because then it starts to change. They're not a ward of a state no more. Now they can be their own ward, and then funds start to change, and it gets a little funky. But yeah.
And that's what I'm a little lost on, because if he did say, I thought all this time I was under conservatorship, I was like, okay, maybe he could be swindled out of that. But for him to think this long that he was adopted and they could control his funds like that for this long, I can understand a couple years here and there, but damn near 20 years.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't even think that he probably. That's why I say they probably had him on such a good living situation that he probably didn't even think his funds and stuff was being controlled like that.
Paperwork.
That's huh?
He probably never looked at his paperwork until.
Yeah, he probably never looked at nothing. Like literally, because he was living good, he was able to buy what he wanted to do what he wanted to do, buy the houses, be lit, whatever it was he was trying to do. He had been able to do that all of this time. So it never made him question anything, about who was making the decisions. Something had to happen earlier this year to make him start questioning it. You don't go from all your life, you ain't never been worried about who making the decision, and then all of a sudden one day you like, let me see about my adoption papers with these people. Something had to happen to trigger that. And it's sad.
Possibly. Hopefully he
What
gets money
possibly
back for
what?
whatever he's owned. He's owed. Hopefully he gets whatever he's owed.
Yeah, I was just saying it's sad, and that it's just a sad situation. It's sad because you either had somebody taking advantage, of their power over this guy's life and the relationship that they had, and they just wrote it out. Instead of it being something good, being a good thing, and y'all were there for him and whatever, you sowed a good seed, you're gonna get it back. Like y'all took it and drug it, like just far, like far. This is a lot of years that had control over somebody's life, and it's not necessary.
Because they saw the value in him and how he could benefit their family, and they also had the hindsight to include making sure he was not a legitimate part of their family.
This is true.
Yeah, well, if he was a legitimate part of their family, you know, when you wait, but you know, when you adopt somebody, that changes the financial situation as opposed to when you don't adopt. Like, let's say you got people, you know, you got somebody in foster care, you helping them or whatever. You might get a stipend, you might get health care for them and all that. Once you adopt that person, a lot of times all that ends. Now they're fiscally your responsibility now because you've adopted them. They're under your family. A lot of times you lose all of that stuff unless it's an extenuating circumstances, like let's say they triplets or something like that. You know, then you
I
still
think
get
that's what
some type of support.
it does. Instead of
Huh?
adopting him to where you become financially responsible, when you would entering that conservativeship, you just benefit from them financially. You don't have to treat them as though they're your child. They're not obligated to anything. It's pretty much a way you can own a child, or own an
Pretty
adult.
much, and have control over their stuff, their finances and stuff like that.
Yeah, they become yours. They become yours. Like it's sad that he's only just figuring this out, but yet your prayers don't get answered until you start asking questions.
That's why I say he started asking the right question. Something happened that sparked him to ask a question that was like, "What? What you mean?" And whatever it was to set this whole thing in motion.
What do you think about the lingering damages that the image that they portrayed in the movie of how he looks slow and dumb and all he's good for is basically playing football, playing sports.
They sold what they had to sell to get that. That's what Hollywood is going to do all the time. They can hear how the real story went, but they're going to sell the version that they want to sell. And a much more interesting buy is a big, dumb black man being shown how to use his big, dumb potential by America's sweetheart of a white woman. It's literally the white savior tale of implanting some civilized humanity into a savage brute.
You know, they gotta, keep that narrative of, the big black man, the big black slave, the man dingo, you know what I'm saying? He's dangerous. He's dangerous. You don't want him to be unleashed, you gotta keep him calm and subdued. Within that movie, they even needed a white woman to translate to him. Even the football coaches couldn't talk to him and get him to do what they wanted him to do because he couldn't understand the playbook and he couldn't this and he couldn't that. It took this white woman to be like, you know what? Just protect them like you protect me. What would you do if somebody was? Come on, man.
We can't even get
watching Green Mile for that very reason.
Huh?
That's why I can't stand watching Green Mile for that very reason.
Yeah, like that. Even think about in damn Forrest Gump. Bubba Gump was the big black dumbass, you know what I'm saying? They had him in there with banging his lip, looking all, in the first and the Bubba. And, come on, man.
Forrest got rich off of Bubba's shit. Like, I appreciate you went back.
Right. Now, I'm glad that he went back and gave a check to Bubba Mama and all that, you know what I'm saying? And they moved on up, but it was Bubba damn idea. But you see how they had him talking like he was just some dumbass nigga, just just come on, man. Like, come on.
Oh, that man was shrimp.
Come on. They basically, you know what I'm saying? They might as well take the shit back to the slave where you got the people on the slave block. This is a good oxen man. He's solid and he's gonna be able to do this and do that,
And it's literally this man is stupid, he's dumb, but damn it, he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah. We're gonna get our worth out of him with this. Y'all know how much this dumb black guy is gonna bring us in revenue when we put him on this field. You know how much this can make us. He might not, and then we'll be able to get over on him because he ain't even gonna know what's going on. So we can pay him this and then shit, take part of what we pay him, and he was caught up in the middle of the whole setup.
And he never would have tapped into his fullest potential if he wasn't taken in by this kindly white family and shown true love by this heavenly white mother.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about the back? Oh, go ahead, LT. Go ahead.
No. White women are terrible mothers. That's it. Like white women want to be held and coddled and told that their positions as wives and mothers matter, but your husbands are the ones that are literally ruining the world. Your husbands are the ones that voted Donald Trump in office and overturned Roe v. Wade, and your children are the ones shooting up our schools. You're the worst mothers, but you want us to believe that you can take a black kid from the hood and just show him the way by being compassionate and all. Like, fuck out
Man,
of
we've
here.
been raising their kids for years. Cut that shit out.
Like,
We've been, you know what I'm saying? We have been raising their kids for years. Think about it. Damn black in slavery days, even the black slave women, they feed everybody off their titties and everything. We've been raising their kids for years.
And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to, because they know that black women have been raising their children for years. What they need to show white women is that you guys, you ladies, are still the best mothers. You're still the mother standard. You can raise anyone. You can even raise a rough kid from the hood. And no, it's literally coddling white women. And even though it's so funny, Hollywood is trying to coddle white women, and they still pulled out the Me Too movement on their asses.
They've been doing it forever. It's just like think about like raising Isaiah. Even the story with Halle Berry. You had his mama, and then you had the white adopted family, and who was better for Isaiah, and the white family could do better by him, and the black crack addicted mama was, bringing him down. And
They've had Halle Berry do a
movie
lot of bullshit. I still don't like Monsters Ball.
Monsters Ball didn't make any damn sense.
It really didn't. It was really just, let's watch a black family go through a mass amount of trauma and be taken advantage of by Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay. Ew. All right, let's move to the next one. I'm trying to do some background work with this next video. Trying to get it up. Hopefully I can get it to edit it up. So the next thing we're going to talk about, and the last thing, LT posted this video. This girl went into this Asian, restaurant? Asian restaurant?
A tea restaurant.
Okay, Asian tea. And it was, they had something on the menu, Trap House Tea or something like that.
Yeah, their moniker is the Trap Tea. They're Indonesian. I want to say they're Indonesian ran and operated. And I want to say the restaurant or the establishment is called Trap Tea. So I'm guessing they serve you tea while you listen to trap music. Probably in Atlanta, I think.
More than likely, I'm probably place bets on that. So there was a young lady went in there. She didn't show her face. Video all the way edited up. She didn't show her face. It was a black woman, and she went in. She was mad, saying because she thought they were using black culture, and she thought she was coming in there and supporting a black business. So she caused quite a bit of a fuss inside the establishment and said she was going to tell everybody that this is not a black establishment and you should not be stealing our culture. And the question is, should we even be mad at something that represents what trap tea, which pretty much represents drug selling, drug using, whatever you want to call it? Is that something you really should be fighting about? Is that something you really want to keep within the black community? Maybe that's something you really want to fight about. So, LT, what do you think about it right quick? Before I get the video popped up, I'll give us a little bit more context, but what do you think about that? Do you think that is something worth fighting about?
Hell the fuck no, especially against Indonesian people. I guarantee you niggas could not, and I do mean niggas, not black people and not niggas, but niggas could not point to Indonesia on a map. We have all this energy for our culture being appropriated, but we're not knocking down to walk up to the cashier, to approach the regular base level employee and to make it seem like they're the ones appropriating it. That you're not getting anything done. you're recording it, so you obviously you're only doing this to be seen. You're not taking the appropriate channels. You're literally just leading with anger and virality. And yeah, to that point, why the fuck are you going so hard for trapping and trapping? Trapping. That's like getting mad at an ice cream parlor for implementing stripping. A strip ice cream parlor. You're appropriating black female culture.
It's a way to look at it.
And it's like, do you really just want to lump in stripping with black female culture? Do we really need to lump in trapping and drug dealing? Like, these are negative aspects and negative stereotypes attached to black culture. And for a, like I said, and it's like for a well-educated, articulate sounding woman to come into this establishment and make that her complaint. What are you really doing here? Why are you here? Out of all the establishments that are appropriating things in wherever the fuck you live at, you want to start with the Indonesian tea shop.
I'm gonna play the video real quick. I finally got it up. So, okay, we'll get a little bit more context on what we're talking about. I guess bet you will play.
Question, is this black owned?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Area?
Yeah, Clyde's Flush.
Got you. It's coming up right now.
I have a question. Are you guys black owned?
We're Indonesian.
Okay, do you think using this, you guys are not using black culture to gain attention?
Not at all.
You don't think this is black culture?
I think
Is this
everyone
Asian?
has
Is this Asian culture?
The commie house is definitely an Asian culture. That's
No, but it's the trap house though. Is that Asian
That's not a
culture?
trap house.
Yes, it is.
I can show you where it's inspired from.
Trap tea, the boba plug. You're using black culture to gain customers. This establishment is not black owned, but you're stealing black culture. Is this not black culture? Trap tea, the boba plug? No, you're thieves. Asian people stealing black culture once again. It's okay, you'll be exposed though. You're not black owned. You're stealing black culture.
Thank you for coming.
Black culture.
Thank you for coming.
No, I came here because I thought it was black owned. That's why I came here. I told my friends I'm supporting a black business. This is not black owned. This is not black owned. Asians stealing black culture. Once again, you're a coon. Don't talk.
I'm a coon.
I came here because I didn't know it was black owned. I already did. But
I'm tired of people.
because you're a coon.
She called that man a coon.
She called him a coon. So, you see, with the reality she came at her, that's something worth fighting about, something that is based off of drug dealing. The irony is she talking about you're stealing, which is what we consider a crime, but you're representing something that is also a crime, that you want to be kept in black culture. Is that something?
Like, there's so many levels of the mind fuckness. Like, you're accusing them of stealing a negative thing. Like, again, as a black woman, why would you want trapping to be considered black culture? That's something that's predominantly done by black men, and that's something that leads a lot of black men to being killed and murdered. That's something that if you are a single mother, you worry about your son maybe getting a part of and being killed or sent to jail. So as a black woman, what is your... And what was the reason for trying to, like, I hate that we're living in an era where people just want to expose things, because it's like, what do you plan? What did you plan on doing after that? You just went in here with your phone and you didn't have to record anything. If you really wanted to know if they were black owned, all you had to do was go in. Hey, are you guys black owned? No, we're not. We're Indonesian. Okay, I'm just gonna leave. But no, you wanted to record them. You wanted to be seen. You wanted to. That's why she's being called Black Karen, because you're searching for outrage in something that is not outrageous at all. The only thing that's outrageous is you're overreacting to it.
Sparky T, what you got to say about that? Do you think she overreacted or she was right?
I think it's some of both. I think that she overreacted, and I totally understand what you all are saying about the absurdity of you trying to, assess trap culture to us. But the flip side of what she's trying to say is you all are representing yourself using the language and things like that, using the words, buzzwords, the plug and different things like that to attract black people or to make it give off the impression that your business is black owned. So you can yet get more of the black dollar. And so you're misrepresenting it. That's what she's upset about. And that part I can understand. You didn't really lie and say it was black owned. You just make sure that you use, all buzzwords for things that might be something that's part of our culture. You wrote your shit, not that they did, but other ways you could, you write it in graffiti, you do this, you do that, things that may be associated with hip hop. You try to incorporate them in what you have going on, making it seem like she said that this is owned by black people, knowing that it's not. And it's a falsehood. That part I can understand her being upset about.
When she called old dude a coon, first thing I'm gonna speak on was what does she think is more harmful? Accepting or celebrating trap culture or whatever is negative in the black community, or another community stealing the bad parts of our community. I would think that being a coon would be more so supporting the bad stuff. That
Yeah,
brings our
that's
people
literally
down.
like telling people you can't use anything about drug dealing, trapping. You can't use anything about twerking. You can't use anything about catching a body because these are all things that are a part of black culture. So if you say, and again, that's reinforcing the negative stereotype of things that we don't need for trapping to be seen as black culture. Because guess what? If we want to claim drug dealing, we're not even the best drug dealers. That would go to the pharmaceutical company because they get to do it legally. And they make billions and trillions of dollars off of that shit. So we're not even the best at trapping. We've been trapped in America for centuries. So again, we don't own trap. We don't even own trap music because we don't own the music that we distribute. So we're arguing for the moniker, we're arguing for the credit, but we don't have the ownership of the things that we're trying to claim ownership over. Like they didn't lie. They didn't say, yeah, we're black owned. They just said because the T is like that's what we're ignoring too. The T is a part of their culture. Like, yeah, the trap music, like the part of trap is trap music. I don't have to pay black people for trap music. I pay Apple for trap music. I pay Spotify for trap music. I pay YouTube for trap music. I don't, yeah, that doesn't go to a black person. Like black people don't own Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music. Like we don't even own SoundCloud. We don't own the things that we make or that we generate the most income for. So again, like you can lobby for it being stolen from the culture, but the culture is a culture of not owning the things that we claim to create. Not even claim to create the things that we do create, but go so hard for it. I mean, yeah, she sounded really educated. She sounded very articulate. It's like, ma'am, why are you going hard for this particular thing? And to again to call it,
She was probably upset because she wasted her time. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being, if you, she said she went there because she thought it was black owned. She thought it was black owned because the way that they marketed themselves. So she went there. She wanted to go somewhere that was black. We were just talking about, spending your dollar in the black community first and all of that. Well, if you try to do that at times, but people are marketing themselves in a way that you think that they're black owned, you get there and you figure out that they're not, you're outraged. I get it. Should have been mad at yourself because you assumed they were black owned from this set of words, but
Yeah, because I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, she had to assume that they were black owned because one, I don't know a black owned business that doesn't hashtag black owned business. Like I don't know a black
I
owned
do.
business that doesn't
I do.
frequently let you know on their social medias, on
I
whatever they
do.
do that they are. I mean, and you're right, some of them don't, but the T aspect is also a part of their marketing. So if you're not seeing things that again are from black culture, ain't no, and this is going to sound so racist, but ain't no grape Ain't no grape drink tea. Ain't no fried chicken tea. Ain't no Coke 45 malt liquor tea. They're bringing teas from their culture. So you have to understand there's a combination. Like black people don't just go out and drink tea. Like we're not tea drinkers. And like again, if you want to acknowledge the trap aspect of being a part of black culture, did you also look at the tea aspect of being a part of black culture? Because what if the original tea drinkers, what if this was a black owned business being owned by black people? What if an Indonesian person walked in and said, hey, you're appropriating our tea culture? This is appropriation. Is this place Indonesian owned? So why are you selling tea? You know, they don't sell tea, they don't make tea in Africa. Africa is known for coffee.
My thing is that what okay, this is a negative thing for black culture. Now what if they just replace that trap tea with something that's dealing with um rape culture? What if they replace that with dealing with something that messes with kids? And you wouldn't want to even go into a restaurant that has that title connected to it. You like, oh, that's sick. Why would I want to go in a restaurant that's talking about messing with kids? Why I want to go in something that says I beat women? I don't know what name you would give a product with that, but you know.
Because negative aspects like that don't get attributed to a particular race of people. Trap is a thing that gets claimed by us and attributed to us.
We
Everyone
celebrate it
sells
though.
drugs. White people sell meth like a motherfucker. When I was in Florida, I got my shrooms from most likely a Malaysian or Indonesian kid. He was definitely Asian, Southwest Asian to be exact. So everyone across the board sells drugs, but yeah, that
Who
specific
celebrates it though? What
we're the
music
only ones
celebrates
who
it?
celebrate it. Why? Because our representation raps about it. Because that's the people that we look up to in our ever since the fucking black exploitation films of the 70s. We look up to motherfuckers like Superfly. We love songs like I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm the Nick and the Alec, I'm your pushing man. Like we've been rapping and singing about being low level characters in our communities and selling it back to our community. And it's kind of brainwashed and conditioned us into thinking that's our culture. Being a stripper is a part of my culture. Being a PIMP is a part of my culture. Being a fucking thug is a part of my culture. Shooting shit up when I go out and carrying a gun with me and drinking malt liquor everywhere I go is a part of my culture because that's what I see people that look like me doing. That's what I hear that people that look like me do. And that's a negative aspect to want to like we want or she wanted the trap to not be stolen. Ma'am, black women are being stolen. Like literally, like you're being pulled up off the streets, but you want to come into it. Like again, she didn't do her due diligence by researching this place on social media. And you can't tell me that like she wasn't thinking about that because you thought enough to have your phone ready before you even approached the counter. She knew what she was doing when she went in there. I strongly believe, and this is just my belief, not or you know what the context clues that I'm getting. She started at the entrance of the store. She waited for a second, looked around. She most likely saw that there were no black people in there just to approach the counter and say, are y'all black owned? You have to know. Like I'm pretty sure if I Google this place right now and look up or trap tea, it's going to say something about them being Indonesian. This shit is in Colorado.
Oh, you found it that quick?
It's located in Aurora, Colorado.
A lot of black people.
Let's see. Aurora's trap tea blends cultures and stirs up the internet. This was back in 2020.
I figured because I saw the mask on. I was like, damn, how old is this?
Oh, yeah, damn, this story is old. This shit happened back in 2020. So again, just being generated so that misinformation and division can be generated. Like, because I don't know why this was on my news feed in 2023 and this happened in the year 2020. Why did the internet want to recycle this video again? Just so we could label.
So they could say something about a black Karen.
White women are tired of being called Karens, and now they want to share some of that load with their partners in feminism.
They was like, let's go find a video with somebody black doing this same shit because we tired of being.
They do it too.
All right, let's leave this one, and we're going to end it on this one, and going to the deepest thought. See what the deepest thought. This deepest thought actually is.
They changed their name to Man Bowler, by the way.
The T place changed their name?
Yeah, to Band.
To what? Bangola?
Band Boba. B-O-B.
Hey, what she said must have been enough. Them had, well, I'm not gonna say it made them change the name, but them name changed, ain't it now?
Yeah. So, and now it's like they changed the name. Their business is still up and running, and now 3 years later, you're known as Black Karen. Who really won? Who really lost? Now that you did that, I can see like where's these people going and supporting that business just because, hey, are y'all a business that was appropriate Black culture? Because we're totally down with that. We appreciate your stance. We need to appropriate Black culture all the time. This is America.
Looking for the video, keep talking. Hold on.
No problem.
You got a little noise in the background. Yours, LT.
Fuck that nigga Derek Jackson. I ain't even read or listen to that whole video that you sent, but that nigga, he a mark. If I see him on the street, I slap shit out of him. And I think his buffness is all fake. I think he got fucking muscle implants.
That could possibly make people doing that all the time nowadays.
I think he a hoe and he act like a fat kid still. His wife probably about to come back with the. No, we did talk about her. She was on the motherfucking. So both of these motherfuckers on the podcast circuit now. Like they just. When we gonna have Derek Jackson or Mrs. Jackson on here as a guest?
They could be working together, as far as we know.
I feel like they not expensive. Like.
Nah, I'm figuring Derek Jackson probably is. He's probably garnering $1,000 per interview now.
Man, Vlad got that shit in his back pocket to sit this motherfucker down.
I really cannot find it.
That nigga Derek Jackson, I don't know nobody's baby mama. Like Vlad will give a rapper's baby mama at least $5.
Nah.
This nigga Derek Jackson, this nigga Derek Jackson, maybe a follow.
I think I found it.
I don't even remember his wife name. And is they still home? Because she's still out here calling herself Jackson.
Who? The girl, Janaea?
Janaea. I know her name is Janaea, but Janaea. The little quick.
Yeah, they didn't change the name yet. Okay. All right. We got it. It took me a minute to find it. I didn't know where I looked at. Okay. Here we go. Deepest thought. Some background on it. LT, this happened in Fayetteville.
Who should?
Yeah. Great. Put some positive light on Fayetteville. Here we go. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Someone is. Yeah, that's somebody's ass. Riding through Fayetteville.
All right, where is that? Let me try and pinpoint this. Like, where the fuck? What?
They were on a Kiss My Ass tour, it appears to be.
You know what? They're stupid, but also the person who was driving is stupid because you allowed your passenger to just stick their ass out your window long enough for someone to get behind you and record it. So whoever the fuck was in behind driving this 2002 Ford Taurus or whatever the fuck it was, I hope all the bad things in life happen to you for at least 24 hours. At least 24 hours. Because what the fuck for? We didn't need this kind of asshole.
Maybe the person had like really bad gas, and they were like,
"Oh wow,
your ass out the window."
You can stop the car.
So they just made them ride with them continual, maybe, you know.
Because like I haven't moved anyone since I was a kid, and only being an adult makes you realize how stupid. Like you're just exposing your ass to someone else. It's like, oh my god, like you think they're super offended by seeing your ass, but you really got to stop and think, damn, my whole ass, dick, and balls was just hanging out this window, and I don't know how many people saw it, and now it lives forever on there.
All right, guys, that's the end of our show today. This has been Hostile Therapy on Thursday with me, Big Red, Sparky T, and Lord Trent LT. Thank you for coming on and joining our show, getting some Hostile Therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. We'll be back next Thursday with another round of topics that are important to your heart. If you got any topics that you want us to talk about, you know, leave them in the comments or so. Maybe you got something specific that we can talk about that we haven't talked about yet.
Wow.
So until then, we will see you on the next episode. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
You're